All right, there we go. We are live finally. All right, sorry about that. We're half an hour late. That's Gio's fault, totally.
I thought we were going on at 9:45.
No. We say 9:30, but then it's timed to go on at like 25 or 22.
It's meant to go on at 9:45, so this is your fuck up. I mean, I'm a little bit later than that, but not 9:30 late.
Well, we're late. Late's late, bitch.
This is a good point. Late is still late.
But that's what you always say to me because I'm late every time. No matter,
yeah, you're pretty bad.
If it's 2 minutes or an hour, it's still late.
This is a good point. This is a very good point. And we're joined today by Barbara. I don't know where the Queen thing come from, but somebody refers to you. A lot of people refer to you as the Queen. I don't know, so I just do it like a fall in line, obviously.
Like a while back, it all started when I was in the MCE channel. They would call me the Queen or something. It just started off there, and then but everybody stopped calling me that, so it was just Barbie.
So we've got you on as a guest this week. So, you do a lot of chats though, didn't you? I see you on the Darth Castle thing all the time. You're regular on there, like a resident.
Yeah, it's actually one of actually the only group I've really been on lately that I'm always on. I love the Darth Castle guys, man. They're all like my brothers and shit. And we all met at New York Comic Con. I met Alex at New York Comic Con. And we had a blast, man. It was super fun.
Yeah, that's great. That's why I need another person to rub that shit in my fucking face with.
Yeah, we won't go to the end of the evening, but yeah, it started off really well.
There'll be more New York Comic Cons. It's okay.
Well, this year's meant to be cancelled. I mean, meant to be delayed or something because of the Jarvis Centre is going to be used it's used as an overspill at the moment. So
yeah, it's not. You can. I hate to burst anyone's bubble that is thinking that these things can happen. I don't see it. I don't see any cons going on this year, unless they're like winter cons, like really late, like November, December sort of stuff. I don't see it happening. I really don't, because that many people in a confined space. I just don't see them being able to open it responsibly. I just don't see that possible, where they'll be like, oh yeah, that's okay. I think they'll be like, look, man, that's a fucking bad idea. And it's happening at the moment, like all of with all the sport and everything over here. The Premier League and the UEFA and FIFA, like in football, are getting like absolutely crucified because they're trying so hard to hold on to not cancelling the league, like voiding it. And they're trying so hard. They're like, we'll see, we'll address it in a month, and we'll look at it in a month, and all this each month go by. But it's just they don't want to do it because it's just the legal ramifications. We're talking 700, 800 million in sort of legal, fines and fucking suing and all sorts of problems. So they're desperately trying not to do it. But if they're in the position they're in, then I'm telling you, these cons are not going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, they're looking into delaying San Diego already. So,
San Diego's July.
July. Yeah.
But even if things were to get better, let's say around May, and we got New York Comic Con in October, I mean, people are going to be broke as fuck. Nobody's working.
That's a massive point as well. That's a massive point.
The other thing that might happen as well is, what they may do is they may say, okay, it's going to happen. But then all the companies who are normally there may say, yeah, we're not going. And none of the celebrities will go. None of the artists will go. And it'll just be like, it won't be the same anyway. That just reminded me of something. Did you hear about the thing that Diamond did this week? Do you know Diamond?
Who are you talking to, bitch? Address someone with a name, motherfucker.
Everyone. Do you know, because basically the comics, they're all distributed through Diamond in America and throughout the world. And they've just said, yeah, we're not printing any more comics at the moment.
Shit.
So basically, all the comics, all the comics are on hold at the moment.
Everything, I did hear it. Actually, I follow a lot of YouTube channels that are just strictly comic book guys, and like guys that have comic book stores and stuff like that. And I actually saw somewhere, can't remember where, I have to find it, but they posted where all new comics were delayed. They made a post saying all new comics are delayed. They're held back, and I'm like, oh shit.
There's a guy who posted it who's I can't remember who it was, but it's someone quite well known and quite to do in the industry.
It's probably the same guy then, because it's. I think it was one of those big comic book ones.
He basically said, like, I didn't even know this was happening either. I found out when you guys found out, when Diamond put the post up, and it's just like, wow. And everyone's kind of saying that, you know, the kind of comic industry was kind of on its last legs anyway, and this might push over the edge, really.
Yeah, well, it's going to tip a lot of, like, you know, people. I feel sorry for anyone that's fucking started up a new business or a new venture. I mean, Jesus, this just fucking come out of nowhere. Although it's funny because I actually believe Alex is patient zero. I'm sure, because I spoke to him when he was in Thailand when he come from the con. I was sure it was December, mid-December, around my birthday when I saw him. He was ill. He was ill as fuck. Yeah. And Alex, I'm telling you, Alex, like a cockroach. Nothing sticks to him. Nothing. Nothing. I remember one time we were kids. Went around his friend's house and they made some like fucking mushrooms or some shit, and they ate like a massive fucking tray of these mushrooms. They looked rank as shit. I took 2 of them, threw up for 2 fucking days, and Alex had ate a whole plate or whatever, and he was just like, "You're just such a pussy," like, you know. He just does, nothing sticks to him. So when I got off the phone, I spoke to my wife, and I said, I'm worried because he don't sound well, and he never sounds ill. He's never ill. So I knew it was bad, and he had temperature, the headaches, all of the symptoms he had, and this was mid-December, so he definitely had it.
The con was on like the 8th or something, and then after that I was in Singapore for a few days, and I felt
spreading it to Singapore, and then you moved to Thailand, spread it to Thailand, then you came home to the UK and spread it there. So any people in those 3 countries, send your complaints and distress to Mr. Alex over there. You can send him some abuse, because but it's not, you know what's funny though is that I remember on the group when you were saying you weren't very, like, there was a big joke about a con flu, because there was lots of people that weren't very well at the time as well. So I mean like, it also was starting then. Yeah,
Rebecca and Karina were ill, but they were ill after every fucking con anyway, because they don't eat meat and they're fucking vegan. And they got like every kind of food allergy you can think of, so they literally, whenever we go out with like Rebecca, it's like, can I get some steamed chicken and boiled rice or whatever? Anyway, and so they're always ill because they don't eat properly, and they always have like a big thing of vitamins. But and then there was like, I think Dustin got dengue fever, and then there was a few other people. Like everyone was ill after that convention. Everyone.
That's what I'm saying. It's already starting. Hopefully, Barbs, you're fine. Family's fine. Everybody's well where you are.
No, everybody's good. We're just home quarantined. We switched.
What day you on?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I lost track. I think we're like going on 2 weeks. No, 3rd week. I think we're going on. And Ohani's still working. Like he goes on and off, you know, to work. Some days he goes, sometimes he doesn't. Like today he didn't go. And yesterday, so we're just keeping busy here with our statues and stuff. Like he finished one of the displays. And we moved around like 15 statues yesterday. So we finally put everything that we were supposed to put together into that display, which is Marvel Street Level Heroes.
So I had to
yeah, fucker.
Yeah.
Tim.
Yeah, there you are. That's Nick. That's the gold there. Can't kill poison with poison. That's very well said, sir. Yeah, it's funny. Today I spent majority of my day actually building IKEA units. I put the two new you know what they're called, the ones I'm using for still books. I don't know what they're called.
They're the Billy. They're 202 centimeters high, and they are 30 centimeters. They're not 30.
Are they called Billy? I've got it in front of me. Do you know what they're called?
Oh, I thought they're called Billy. Yeah.
You're fired.
I can't see where. Oh, okay. They're Gennady. Okay, I think, but they just played them with the Billy ones.
They're called Gennady fuckface. That you were wrong, and it's no. It's I put two. I put 2 of those.
Because you told me when I go to IKEA next to pick them up. So good job.
Yeah, that would have been bad. The funny thing is when Bob, you got kids in ya. You got kids in ya.
4.
So. Yeah, you got 4 kids. Yeah. Fuck! You look remarkably younger than you should look if you've got 4 kids.
My oldest is 20. Then I have a 16-year-old, a 15-year-old, and an 11-year-old.
So you had your first kid when you were like 4 then?
No.
Fucking.
We were 18. We were both 18. We met in high school. We were 15 when we met, and we had
Jesus, man, fucking.
We're young though.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, it's just like unbelievable. You know, I mean, you've whatever moisturizer you've got, you should send some to my fucking ass because I could do with some.
Latina, it's Latina blood.
No, but I was like, today when I showered, I was, thinking to myself as I put it on my moisturizer, I'm like, fuck, I am so happy. Like I buy a gazillion of these things because I like to try like new ones when I see one. And I have like 5 or 6 of them. And I'm like, thank God I have like 6.
You're stocked up. Yeah, man, J-Lo, man. What's she like? She's 50, right?
Yeah, she's 50.
Oh, J-Lo's so hot. It's just wrong. Fuck, 50 years old. Oh, wow, what a woman.
Look, it's a lot of water. I do drink, but I don't drink like constantly. And girls that drink,
hear that, Alex?
Alex is a man. That's fine.
But I spend it when you like, because my little one's like 18 months. Everything you build becomes more complicated because you can't just sit the fucking thing up. I've got to like secure it to the wall.
Yeah.
So then you're drilling and then wall plugs in here and fucking connecting it all there and then giving it a pull and then be like, is it going to come off? Is it going to kill him? Fucking. I've been doing a day of that today. So
even like my kids are older right now, but everything, even that pack. We're up there that way. That pack's right there. That's all secured to the wall. Because the statues are heavy, so all that weight on those shelves could easily bring it forward. So we have to go to the wall.
Well,
it's a funny thing, that isn't it? That all of us, there's a funny thing that in our community is like, I was saying this, that I was talking to Jenny about all of these things today, and I was saying like, we all know the names of all of this cheap IKEA furniture, and we all collect premium fucking brand statue stuff. Yeah. So it's just funny how we connect and mix the two up. I mean, emoji cases now coming into things now; they're becoming big and looking incredibly impressive.
You imagine though, if say my parents collected this shit when we were like 15 or 16, we would have smashed it.
We'd have fucked that up.
We used to break everything in my house. Used to get broken because
my parents wouldn't comics. Like the reason I'm into all this because I grew up watching X-Men, and I grew my mornings was waking up in the morning, going to the kitchen, grabbing a bowl of cereal, sitting in front of the TV early in the morning, and watching X-Men, Ninja Turtles, Spider-Man, whatever came up in the morning early before going to school, and Captain Planet. Oh my God, I used to watch them all.
Captain Planet's the shit, man.
Captain Planet was well ahead of the time. Yeah. With like diversity, man. With diversity, Captain Planet was ahead of the time.
And I used to love the song. Like I would just sit there with Captain Planet. So
he's our hero, gonna take pollution down to zero.
He's the powers magnified and he's fighting on the planet side.
That poor bastard that had the heart. You just know he was gutted. When they gave the rings out, he must have been like, really? Fucking really? It's like that moment in Reservoir Dogs, isn't it? It's like nobody wants to be Mr. Pink. It's like, what do you mean Mr. Pink? It's like that moment. What do you mean heart? What does that mean? It means you really care.
But yeah, I grew up watching them, and my parents, they were very Latin. They didn't speak English, so to them, they wouldn't buy me these toys. They wouldn't buy I actually have boy cousins that I used to love going to their house and playing with all their boy toys. They would buy me Barbie dolls, and I'll be like, I don't want this shit. Like,
it's quite ironic now that you're called Barbie in the first place, right?
No, it's ironic. And I think they would call me. They would, everybody would call me Barbie. Even as I was a child, nobody would call me Barbara unless my parents were pissed. But I think because they would call me Barbie, that I would like Barbie dolls. And I'm like, no, I hate these things. Don't buy them. And Christmas, I remember one Christmas, they were like, what do you really want? I'm like, I do not want a Barbie doll. I want a fucking Game Boy. It was like when it first came out. And I'm like,
I think Alex had one actually when they first started making an appearance. Alex had one, I remember.
I got it when it first.
I had it 2 months before it was released in the UK.
Yeah, I got it when they first came out too. I was like, yay, not a Barbie.
My mom went to Hong Kong, and she came back and she gave me the Game Boy, and I was just like, the funny thing was I was more happy like I'm more memorable when I received the Game Boy than when I received anything else. I think it was like I received like a Mega Drive later, a PlayStation, all this stuff. But when I got that Game Boy, I was like over the moon. I was so happy.
That's like one of the things I really remember as a child was when I got that Game Boy, and that Game Boy was not like the later models where like the color screen and the backlight. No, this didn't even have a backlight. You actually had to buy a light that attached to it with a magnifying glass so you could see it.
Yeah, I mean the one Alex had, I remember, was like him walking around with a fucking brick.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, I'm sure that he used to fucking throw at me or whack me with it and things like that. Anyway,
it was like a big console like that. It was like a big thing like that, and it had a little tiny green screen, but it had no backlight. So you would actually have to like light it up if it was like nighttime, and you couldn't. Yeah, you needed a light for it.
When you actually look over it, it was like, how the fuck did the Game Boy beat all the other consoles? Because at that time, you had the Atari. Well, no, you had the Atari Lynx, which was fucking amazing, and it had like the Atari Lynx was big and it was color, and I'm pretty sure it was 16-bit as well. And then you had the Game Gear. And
yeah, but you've got to remember that a lot of this stuff is just marketing, smart marketing. It's not you're not always. I mean, why did Blu-rays survive and HD DVD not, whatever it was?
Because of porn.
You know what I mean? You know, but it's not always that. Sometimes it can just be the name. Sometimes it's catchy enough. Sometimes it's just marketed better. You know, so it's not always a better product, but sometimes it's marketed better. So, you know, I mean, for me, I never had a Game Boy. It didn't really appeal to me that much because I was always a bit snobby. Like, what the fuck is this? I can't see shit. You know what I mean? Like fucking, and I never fucking Jesus things like Tetris. I just never saw the fucking point. People are crazy about like things like Tetris.
Yeah. Playing Tetris or Paperboy. That was one of my favorite.
I remember Paperboy. Shit, yeah, but I think I played that on Nintendo. Nintendo was Paperboy.
Game Boy had it too, and I you know what? I actually got nostalgic recently, and I downloaded a whole bunch of emulators on my computer, and I could play like all the Mario Brothers. I could play Paperboy, the Tetris games, the Pac-Man games, everything. I'm like, fuck, this is fun as shit.
But there's an advantage being quarantined with that.
No, I haven't played it recently because with the kids at home, I haven't had time, and they're constantly doing homework on my computer and stuff like that. But I actually, when I downloaded this, I downloaded maybe like 2 weeks before this whole stuff started. And believe it or not, my kids actually have been playing on it, and they enjoy it. They're like, oh, and then I could actually get my PS4 remote and put it onto my link it with my computer, and I just play with the PS4 remote. Perfectly fine. I just got to put the buttons where they're supposed to go, you know, like just like I have to memorize the buttons, just like if you were playing with the Nintendo or the Super Nintendo remote. So, but it's not that bad.
Bro, I wish I'd have thought of that because I just did about fucking 75 quid in game. Conning bastards. Conning bastards. Not a deal in sight anywhere now for like games and any sort of things that are going to keep you remotely occupied is like full price. I was like, what the fuck has happened?
Yeah.
Bastards.
I got one of those Super Nintendos, and what happened was I couldn't find, do you know, like one of the plugs you plug into the wall, and then you plug a USB into the wall to power your phone, and I couldn't find one of those to power the Super Nintendo thing, so I plugged it into my laptop to power it. And when I did, it opened up like a USB drive on my laptop, and I thought, oh, hang on a minute, I think you can like add games. So I went online and I looked into it. You can hack them. And basically, I added like another 50 games onto this Super Nintendo thing I bought.
Oh, but you don't even have to hack them. There's a website. I'll send it to you later. So you just
download. I got that as well. But I got the actual one that looks like a Super Nintendo.
Oh, the new one that came out. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you could hack those. But the thing is, I used to have. I think I still have over there in the drawer. But
yeah, I know.
a Raspberry Pi.
I've seen that they sell them hacked already with over 3,000 games or something like that.
Yeah, I got a Raspberry Pi, which you could basically then put all the like MAME on it, and you put everything on it. So yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
So has anybody got anything new in this week?
Not me, unfortunately. I wish.
I did some orders. I kind of like. George and I were talking the other day about Bowen designs, and having a little kind of reminisce about all the old Bowen pieces. And George was saying he would be quite tempted to pick up some of the full scale pieces. He was looking into like Maestro and
Maestro. Yeah, it's funny because I'm sort of looking for Mephisto, faux bronze one. I'm quite tempted to pick up the faux bronze Mephisto.
Yeah.
You know, I like the Maestro Hulk, but people want retard money for that.
Yeah.
You know, for a Bowen piece, I've seen it listed at $900. It's just like,
it's crazy. I know. No, I have several of my Bowen pieces that because that's what got us collecting back in 2004. The first statue we got was a mini chrome Colossus from Bowen.
I had that one, yeah.
Well, unfortunately, my son at the time, he was like 2 years old and he broke it, or he was like 3 or something. I can't remember. And then he broke it, but we just start, on the bottom of the base, like every other base, you have, the company who did it or whatnot, because we actually bought it at the mall. And we realized, okay, so we started searching up Bowen and we came across all these statues, and then eventually we got into Sideshow and all that stuff. But I still have some of the pieces, like the Nightcrawler. I've had that forever, since back in 2000. Yeah, I've had it forever. But recently I picked up like 2 or 3 more, and we picked up the 2 original X-Men, or we picked up Archangel and Angel. And we picked up Iceman, so we still need Beast.
Do you mean uncanny? Do you mean uncanny ones, or do you mean just just the characters?
Yeah, the OG,
the 60s ones, yeah.
Yeah, the 61. So the Iceman is very hard to find, and it's super expensive. Yeah.
He says like 270 or something, isn't it?
217 of those only, and you can't find it. And we found it at our comic. Well, it's not that local; it's about an hour away from us, but it's a comic store by our house, close to us. It's like an hour away, and they have a bunch of Bowen statues, and they sell them retail. What they went for retail, and we bought it for $200. That Iceman.
It's fucking steal, man.
Well, what happened today, as I say, we were talking about that, and I saw it at my CGC, so they're all in this cabinet now. My idea was, I've had this mini cable bust for ages in a box, just sitting in the corner. And what I thought was, I'm going to take it out, I'm going to put it in front of my CGCs, and if it kind of fits there, what I'll do is I'll get a load of these little Bowen busts, because you can get them quite cheap anyway. I'll get them and I'll put them in front of the relevant area of my CGCs. And so I put up a post about it today, and someone contacted me, and I picked up I think about 13 of them. So I'll have to.
Which ones did you get?
So I got Captain Marvel. I got Omega Red. I got Gladiator, Scorpion, She-Hulk. This Iron Man pack that has 3 Iron Men in there. Thanos, Ghost Rider, Symbiote Spider-Man, and normal Spider-Man.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's Symbiote. It's not Back in Black. It's Symbiote. So, and literally the guy, he had another 7 or 8 of them. And
what ones did he have?
He had so let me just go back into the pictures. So he had Snowbird, Sasquatch, Doc Samson, Kazar, Ringmaster. He had the leader. He had the full statue of Deathlock. He had Beast, Fing Fang Foom, Psylocke, and Stingray. Sorry, I got Ghost Rider as well.
Yeah, you said Ghost Rider.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
What Thanos one did you get? The one with his arm out?
The one with no arms.
Oh, cool. I'll be interested to see that one, because I was interested in seeing that one, but I thought the quality looked a bit rough. So.
The one with the arm out looks better, but the guy literally said to me, first of all, he said, "Oh yeah, just give me this much," because originally I inquired about like 3 or 4 of them, and he goes, "I'll give me like a couple $100 for it." And I was like, "Okay, what about for all of these? Like for the lot of them, how much?" And then he said, "If you want everything, it's $600." And I was like, "Shit, that's pretty cheap." And then I looked into it, and I'm like, I looked at the cable box, and I'm thinking, actually, to ship these over is going to be they ain't going to be able to ship over, and I'm going to be taxed, and I'm going to pay shipping. So I just said, actually, I'll take these ones. How much? And he goes, "How much do you say?" I said, "I'll give you $300 for it." He goes, "Yeah, all right." I was like, "Okay." So now I've got to work out how much he's going to box them up and find a box, ship them. But I mean, basically, I don't know. I may I may leave them in America and like post them to someone and pick them up when I'm over there or something.
Probably a better idea.
Bowen has a lot of great pieces. I'm telling you that Nightcrawler, I've had it forever, and you know, I don't think a licensed one's going to come out anytime soon. You know, I've heard from several people it's going to be a no. It's not going to happen. And I've seen a few custom ones, but I honestly, even though it's a 1/6 scale, I don't see anybody surpassing that one. I really like the way that one looks.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same with Apocalypse. You can have all the Apocalypse pieces. I've seen all the customs and things, but for me, Bowen designs Apocalypse is the best Apocalypse.
Apparently someone can't hear Barbara, but I can hear you fine.
Who, me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine as well.
I can hear you
Oh
fine.
no, I had muted because they're cutting the yard next door. They're cutting the tree.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want you guys hearing that buzzing. It was really loud. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what we need, Barbs. More buzzing going on. On
we always forget to do this. So yeah, we've got 70 people watching. So yeah, give those thumbs up.
Yeah, we don't do that. We don't do that promotion very well, do we? Yeah, likes. Let's try and get 150 likes before this is over.
We'll see how it goes. But yeah, so I'm looking to get those in, and then like that was my idea, is to put them so where I got like a chunk of comics. But the problem is always the way that, you know, the characters I like are always the fucking expensive ones. So
Same
like
with me.
if you look at Carnage, he goes for like fucking $350 or something fucking retarded. He's like, are you kidding me? For a little mini bust, it's $300.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think Apocalypse is a very strong bust. It's very nice, but I mean, like I said, I managed to get that shipped like to my door for under 60 quid, so I was quite happy with that one. But
was it listed as £80? $79.99.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They're saying that guy's got that one to buy. So
I think if you're patient, you know, you'll be able to find it. Bowen has been around for ages, and if you just wait and look around for, you know, you'll find it cheaper.
Thing is, though, is that Maestro, the Maestro Hulk, it really doesn't go. I mean, it's a funny thing. The other day, I was telling Alex, I was watching one, and it was fucked. Like, it was jacked. There was loads of things. There were like scuffs here, and there was like fucking this rusting look underneath it or something. There was like some pretty bad issues I thought with it. And it still went for like $450, $500. And I thought, you're off your fucking mind. Like, I was watching it so I could like bid like $200 and then have it professionally fixed. But you know, that type of money, you just think, fuck, you know what I mean? It's up. Sometimes there's some real rare ones. There's some real nice ones too. Yeah. But you know, I've really, I quite like some of the faux bronze stuff. You know, when the faux bronze is actually like coloured.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, like how Loki looks, you know, the faux bronze Loki, it's like got this green underneath it. It's just like a faint green in it. And it's the same with like, I don't know, the Hulk has that as well. Some of the Hulks that he's done, the faux bronze stuff. I dig that. So I'm after the Mephisto. If anyone's got one to sell, hit me up.
Yeah.
If I see anything, I'll let you know. But I think you could find something cheap if you just wait. eBay is an enemy. You gotta look at other places, like maybe local shops. Somebody.
We don't have that here. We don't have that here. We've just got more chance of me finding it when I'm traveling. But on our eBay.
But maybe like the BST groups.
Problem we have is whenever we find a deal or anything like that is in America. And then to ship across is too expensive, and then we'll get fucked on tax on the way as well. So for us, it ends up not being worth it.
Yeah, Bob, you're in a very privileged position, darling. Location is key, and we are in a shit location. We're not actually in the worst. It could be a lot worse, but it's not the best. So, like, you know, we walk into a comic shop and pretty much they have like a Batman Lego, and they're like really pleased with that. So we're like, yeah, it's not really what I'm looking for.
Just watching both.
Don't think we have we don't have many comic book shops. Like in my area, we probably have around 4 close ones, and the 4 close ones, you're not going to find statues. Like they'll have 1 or 2, like there's one maybe 20 minutes from me. They have a couple of little statues here and there. They have one big statue, which is the it's a Punisher. That's it. I think it's I'm not sure if it's Prime 1. I can't remember which one it is. It's the one that he's holding the rifle. It's like is that Prime 1?
Iron Studio.
What's on the base?
Correct. The Iron Studios. So they have the Iron Studios one. That's it. That's all they have for statues. Nothing else.
Are you not near Frank's?
Huh?
Are you not near Frank's? Is it called Frank's? There's a place in Miami called Frank's.
Frank's? No, I'm all the way down south in Homestead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Frank's. I think it's not Frank's because they're called M&M or something like I can't remember right now.
Because there's the Frank's one. They have like a crazy like sale one day a year or something, and their prices go crazy, like really low, and like people queue up outside to buy them. And I think that was like it's around Comic-Con time, and it's like
I know that there's places that have like one or two statues, but then you go in there and then all they have is a bunch of Kotobukiya stuff, and which little tiny things, and we don't collect none of that. But statues, we have to go to Tate's, and that's like about an hour, maybe 10 minutes away from us. An actual hour, 10 minutes without traffic. So with traffic, that's without traffic. So that's like the closest, and they sell all their statues retail. They have a bunch of Sideshow stuff. It's a very big store. But
we just got a message asking if we think that this coronavirus is going to end up being dropping the prices on the statue market. I mean, I have heard some scaremongering. I mean, most of all, it's Kevin and Elena fucking tries to scare the shit out of me almost every week. But the longer this goes on, anything is possible. That's my opinion on it.
In all honesty, I personally, I don't think that statue companies will be lowering their prices at all, because I mean, what you have to think about is, I mean, there are a lot of people losing their jobs, and there are a lot of people in that unfortunate position. But currently, there are a lot of people who are in good positions where they're working from home, and I've worked from home for a while now, and I know that when you're at home, you end up buying more shit on the internet.
Definitely, yeah.
You end up buying so much more. And I've spoken to loads of people who are like buying more while they're on quarantine than they did before, because they're just bored. They're bored off their tits.
Yeah, I think it's too soon. I think it's too soon to say what's going to happen with the collectibles and the comics.
I think you may get like deals on eBay. You may get deals on the buy-sell trades, but I don't think statue companies will lower at all.
The longer this goes on, anything's possible.
Yeah,
you don't know how long this will go on for. If this goes on another 4 months, then we'll sit back and we'll have another chat about it, because you just don't know.
Yeah.
That sort of like initial thing with the quarantine, where you're sort of in the house and you're thinking, fuck, I'm bored off my tits. You start buying, that shit wears off. That shit will wear off. Because I was guilty of it. I did some ludicrous, did about 500 quid on CGCs like the first week I was in the house. You just can't carry on like that. Like, you've got to like fucking slap yourself smart.
No,
it's a bit like,
everything's a domino effect. You're not going to see the ramifications now. You're going to see it later on along the road, like maybe 6 months from now. Like just like when the economy tanked back in 2008, 2009. You didn't see everything, really tank till like almost like a year later. Once people started losing their houses, but foreclosure doesn't really start till 6 months, when they start the foreclosure process. So everything takes, everything's like a process. So you probably won't see these things happening, 6 months, down the road. That's when you'll start seeing what's, what the shit really.
Start getting that Donald Trump cake 4K a month. Woo. What's that? He's doing all the like redundancies and stuff, or unemployment. What's that? Donald Trump's doing that unemployment, where he's paying people who are made unemployed, or?
Yeah. So I think we're getting like a stimulus check. I don't know. For us, it's a little bit harder because we are self-employed business owners. So for those that get like a regular paycheck, that they're very easy. We always have unemployment. So even for people who get fired or whatnot, they could go, ask for unemployment. Now this is just going crazy. Like, we got, I don't know how many people applying a week here or a day or whatever. But they are giving us this supposed stimulus check, and then they're gonna, if you apply for unemployment, then they're gonna give you like another, I think it's $600 a week. So I guess it depends on how many people are in your household, your dependents, which are your kids and stuff like that. It all like comes together. So, But like for me and Ohami, like for us, it's even harder. Like I actually have a client pre-approved to buy a house, and I can't even take her to go show the property. So I'm fucked. And if I don't make that sale, then I'm pretty much screwed. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my whole profession involves around physical contact with other people. So I'm not doing anything. I'm on my ass. So that's. But you know, that's how it goes. You know, we're quite lucky because my wife, you know, she does a job where she can actually work from home. So, I mean, if she was in the same industry as me, it would be there would be big problems. There would be serious problems there.
Yeah.
But that's, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, there are people in fucking far worse positions, and there are people in far better positions. At the end of the day, you know, you can't. This is something that I don't think anybody was remotely prepared for, to be brutally honest. So,
honestly, like they've been they've had a lot of like packages and stuff like that they're, I guess, like handouts and stuff that they're giving the people. Like for instance, like the kids out of school, there's a lot of kids, you know, that don't get to eat breakfast, that don't have food on a daily basis at home because their parents, you know, are very low income. And not only that,
I've heard about this.
Yeah, now with even the parents not working, I mean, I can't even imagine if you're already low income and you can't provide for that child, and the only source of food is when they go to school to have breakfast and lunch, and then, you know, they'll have dinner at home. If they only have that one meal at home, so what they're doing is that the schools are actually providing a meal for them. So they just like drive up the school, I guess, and pick up the meal and then take it home so that the kids have something to breakfast. So it's
still not. It's funny though, because although it's like you'd say it's a necessity, it's still far too much contact.
Oh yeah.
Still far too much. This is what I mean. We're having this over here at the moment. Not that I want to turn this into a fucking that type of chat, but you know, we've got over here, man. Like people, like I'm taking a dog out for a walk, going out once, as I'm like the guidelines suggest to me that I should, and fucking every fucker is walking a dog. I mean, people are stealing dogs just to walk them.
You two are in the French Bulldog Club, aren't you?
We are, yeah. Oh, I have to. Well, no, yeah, I have the biggest French Bulldog. No one believes he's a French Bulldog. No one. I've got a 100-year pedigree for him, certificate, when I bought him, because I got it from the Kennel Club, and I paid a lot of money for him. But he is the biggest fucking French Bulldog ever. I've never seen anything like it in my life. And everywhere I take him, they're just like, what's he mixed with? What's in him? I'm just like, fuck knows. But he's a proper French Bulldog, but I don't know what happened to him. He's like been fucking eating gamma radiation. There's something wrong with him.
No, but I have 3 French Bulldogs. And so the one that I've had for the longest, which he's like 4 years old, he's actually pretty big. He's actually probably as big as yours. He's just not as chunky. You know, he's on like a little bit on the taller side, but he's a pretty big French Bulldog.
What does he weigh?
Huh?
What does he weigh?
Oh, I can't remember right now. I haven't weighed him in a while. I mean, my dog's healthy, so I don't go to the vet unless I give him
mine's walking around at like over 21 kilos. That's what
something pounds.
That's like 45 pounds, yeah.
44, yes, yeah, about 45, 47 pounds, something like that.
Shit. No,
he's fucking massive.
No, I think mine weighs about 28 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's still pretty big for a French Bulldog, because I think
this fuck. I don't know how you survive with 3. I want to kill this dog 90% of the time.
Your dogs are like thick as shit. It's just like your dog is a liability.
Before I had him, I had a pit bull for 14 years, and he's just the most obedient, well-behaved dog. And then my wife was showing me a picture. Oh, can we get this dog? So I'm like, yeah, it's like tiny puppy, cutest thing you've ever seen. And then when I've got in the house, then the bomb fucking shell lands, which is, yeah, they don't do what you tell them. So disobedience and me are not a good combination. When I tell you to do something, I expect it done. If I don't get it done, there's going to be a problem. And the dog just doesn't do what I tell him under any circumstance. Well, what I say, he doesn't do it. I can't get him to stop pulling. I can't. He's just fucking crazy. He's just a window licking, fucking snoring, shitting machine that I just think to myself, my God, I said to my wife, I want to get another pit bull. It's much easier.
Yeah. I have, the big one is pretty, he's pretty chill. He's just very hyper. And the two little ones, they're constantly with my daughter. They sleep with her in her room. She feeds them. She takes care of them. She bathes them. Those are her babies. But those two, they're actually pretty, they're pretty chill. Like they'll chill in the couch, they go down, but they have their moments where they're like batshit crazy running around the house. Right now everybody's locked up. One is in his cage, the other two are in my daughter's room. But I have American Bulldogs too, and they're just as fucking stupid and crazy.
The thing is,
How many dogs in total then?
6.
Shit. The thing is,
6 dogs and 3 kids. Jeez Christ.
No, 4 kids.
4 kids. 4 kids and 6 dogs. There's basically 12 of them in that house.
Well, 2 of them are outside. They don't sleep inside the house.
Here's a funny thing with mine, right? We over here in the UK, they do this French Bulldog walk, yeah. And last Sunday of every month, you go to some snobby park with loads of fucking people that have spent far too much money on this particular breed because they're very expensive to buy. Yeah, very expensive. They're all together, right? So yeah, it's really difficult for me because I just don't mix very well with that type of crowd. So basically what you have then is 40 people, yeah? 40 people walking together and nobody has control of their fucking animal. That's what that French Bulldog walk is. You have 40 people shouting all different names. Hugo, blah, blah, blah. Hugo, very popular name for a Bulldog. You have all this going on and you're just looking around. None of the dogs are listening. None of them. And I said to my wife, I said, oh, fuck me. This is what it is. All these people get together and no dog is listening. It's like,
but the good thing is that from what I've seen in French Bulldogs, they don't have that dominance like they over each other. They're fairly like very friendly with each other. Not like with my American Bulldogs. There's no fucking way I could take my American Bulldog to a dog park. She would literally want to kill another dog. But with the
I had a pit and he didn't like any other dogs, and that was the reason why we got a different type of dog when he died, because the social part of dog walking just didn't exist to us. And but I never was worried about him. I was always worried about other people's dogs because he was just a savage. I wasn't worried about him getting hurt. I was always worried about other dogs. Like if another big dog, like other type of fighting breed of dog came over, I would then be slightly more cautious. But if it was just a standard dog, I'd be like, look, this is going to be bad for you. You need to get your dog away. But he was obedient and he did what he was told, and he never fucking chased after anything. He just stood there. He was a very good dog. And then I got this fucking dog because, my wife was like, I don't want another one of those dogs. And now I have a fucking retarded dog who doesn't do anything that I say. And basically, looks at me as if I'm speaking a different language. And it's just, I want to throw him into traffic 9 times out of 10 walks. If my wife isn't watching, I'll just be like, I just drop the lead. Fuck it. Let's see how it goes. I swear to God, I can't find. I wish, what's funny as well today, this is what's in my mind, is today I found a book which was like Your Guide to a French Bulldog. And I realized I should have read that fucking book.
You're saying about how your room looks so clean.
Yeah.
If the dogs are allowed in there or anything.
No, yeah, they're always loose around the house. They're not loose now because I'm on the chat with you guys. When I'm on the chat, my daughter takes the 2 little ones in her room, and the other one's actually right behind the couch, right there in his little cage. You can't see him, but he's there. But he's there in his little cage, and my American Bulldog is in my room with my husband in her crate. She sleeps in there, so everybody's fine. But no, they're always inside the house. They're always running around. They go in there. Like I have a ton of pictures on my Facebook where they're laying on the couch. There's actually a picture that I took with the Medusa lockjaw on top of my table.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And I had my dog.
I remember too.
Next to him, yeah.
I've got to be honest though, with statues and things like that, I'm just glad I don't have a fucking cat.
Yeah. I've seen Mad X where he had a video and he's got pretty expensive stuff. He ain't got no cheap statues. We did at the time, and he literally had the cat going across the top of his like statue collection where he had them on top of the Besta, and literally the cat's like going around the statues.
Oh no way! There's no way. No. That's one of my kids.
Yeah, well, I was hoping it was one of them and not just a stranger walking through your house.
Yeah, they just come and they swing by. Okay, I'm just gonna go to the kitchen.
This is the guy, I think, right? Is this guy where he's saying pets and statues are a bad combination? Are you? Sorry, I'm asking him now. Are you the guy who just did that Predator review where? Did you see it where he sort of cuts to the Predator making noises and he thinks like he edits it like it's in the box or something? And he does all these like quite good intros. Actually, he's got a channel. If that's the guy I'm thinking of.
I don't know.
So I was asking him.
My dogs are pretty good. Like they don't really. So they don't like the Bestas. They don't jump on that. And the packs we actually put like so it's not glass. We did doors, but they're like a plexiglass, and they don't even come near it. And you'll see them all of them running around right there, but they won't go near the packs at all.
George like goes up to the glass and starts licking it.
No, I told you he's
like that, licking the DEET off like that.
I told you, it's retarded. It's not a joke. When I say window licking, that's not an insultive term. That is, he will just all of a sudden start looking at the glass and then just go, and start licking
like a cleaning solution you guys use that kind of like entices him to lick the glass. I would clean it with vinegar. No.
It's a very complex term called spastication, which is definitely what he has. He is fucking well strange, honest to God. I mean, it's so funny. I just didn't expect it at all. I should have never listened to my wife. I say to her all the time, "This is your fault."
But they're cute. How is your son with the dog? Because they're exceptional. They're the best with kids.
Well, you see, my boy, he's quite funny. They're cute and they play like sometimes and stuff. But I think the dog is scared of my son. I think he's like nervous because when my boy was born, like obviously when he was little, my dog is real clumsy. Like I said, he's clumsy and quite he's a type of dog that if you open a door. Like if you open a door or something like that, he's not one of them dogs like my other dog, which would be just waiting for you, the boss, to walk through the door and him follow behind you. This is a dog that will, if you walk in the wrong time that he's going to fucking take your legs from underneath you. So I had to sort of try to control the space and make sure that he didn't like knock my son all over the place or stand on him, or because it's not through bad intention, just clumsiness and stupidness. So now with the space sort of thing, and he's 18 months and he's into everything, I have to just make sure he's not pulling his ears, because he just grabs his ears. I have no idea why. He just like all of a sudden will just go and just grab hold of one of his ears, and I'm just probably because it's sticking up like a fucking idiot. I'm just trying to protect the dog at the moment from my son.
No, my daughter, she's 11, but they're fairly good. Like she sleeps with them. They don't mind if you push them around, play with them rough. They don't really care. I mean, they're not aggressive, and that's what I mean. Like they're really not aggressive animals. So
the thing is my one is hated by every other dog. And you know what's the best? You know what the funniest thing is? Is cats are not scared of him. When I had a female staffy for a long time that we rescued, right, to keep my pit bull company. So when he was about 5, I got a young female staffy for him for company. And obviously when he passed on, we still had her, and then we got this dog. So she sort of helped raise this dog. And we'd take them both out. And if the staffy was there, cats would run, right? So they see the Staffordshire Bull Terrier, and they'd run. They look at the French Bulldog I have, and you see the cats, this confusion on their face. They squint and they're looking at it, right? So they're looking at him like this, and they're looking right at him. They're like right at his face, and they're like, "Are you a dog?
Are you
is that a dog? Are you a dog? Yeah, cat. Are you like a pig cat mix? What the fuck?" And they don't go anywhere. He like stands there like picking chested up and that. And I'm like, that cat can kick your fuck out you. You go near that cat, you would You're fucking dead.
Well,
Because
just going to scratch his eyes out.
well, yeah, and he's got eyes as big as a normal dog's head. His giant, big, googly eyes. You're just like, oh my god! But they just look at him. They look at him with this confusion, this perplexed look.
They're very weird. Like I have my little one, so she like the minute I get on the couch, she'll jump on me and she'll get like this close to my face and she'll smell my. She won't touch my face, but she will get like a millimeter away from my face and smell my mouth and my nose and my face and everything. And I'm there like, get away. And then the minute I'm gonna go like give her a kiss, she's like, whoa, get the fuck away. Like, what the hell?
Don't invade my space. Yeah, it reminds me of this game that Alex and me used to play. Well, Alex used to play with me, which is he used to go, not touching you, not touching you, can't get crossed, can't hit me. And it used to just right in your eye, like that, around there. Not touching you, and you just be like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. This is, I mean, this is, but you know, fuck it.
I'm going to go back on fucking topic now rather than talking about dogs. I got a fucking dog.
Yeah, well, nothing could live with your smell, my friend.
Your mother. So yeah, F-State in the house.
Yo, my brother.
Even
top of the tree.
Even Barry Helms is there. They're going to talk. And then asking me if I've got a dog. No, I don't have a dog.
He had an English Bull Terrier that we grew up with.
I did, yeah.
Used to make me laugh.
Oh damn. F-State. Jeez. Thanks, man. Buddy.
He started off his bidding thing with what's his name, and he's gone to war with people.
Well, he ain't here.
That's great, man. Thanks, my brother. I mean, F-State actually, he was top in the RaddTitan group for contributors in the last month, which was a very well played game, sir. I tip my hat to your expertise. Alex was like, "Oh no, that won't work," and everything else, but he knows fuck all, and it did. So congratulations.
Because after I said that won't work, he then started putting up single posts.
Oh no. Well, no, it did work. So you're full of shit, and it did 100% worked because I checked the day after he did it, and he was top by a long way. So, it definitely worked. But yeah, so well played.
So are you guys getting anything new? You guys are not getting anything new either?
The only thing I'm getting, well, actually, I did pre-order something as well. So
I don't
know if I'm allowed to say it though, because I work for a company.
You got that Spider-Man thing, didn't you?
No.
You did.
No, I didn't. No.
Definitely not.
I do not support unlicensed products, and I will not pre-order them.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean that Spider-Man bus looks fantastic. I really dig it. I mean, Jesus, it's just.
It was well cheap.
Was it? Oh yeah, I remember saw the price. Yeah, it's you in that Junus, man. As soon as something comes up and it's not a lot of money, you fucking buy it.
It's $499.
Yeah, that's a great price. That's a great price. Let's hope it's not made of helium.
Well, they normally make quite good quality stuff, so that's why I kind of got it. And then obviously on top of that, I just bought these mini busts. So I don't know when I'm going to get those though. I've got to work out.
I've got nothing. I've got to be honest with you. Other than CGC stuff, I really recently, Sabretooth is in. I got Cable in. They're both new, sort of off the cuff purchase. I am tempted by a couple of pieces. Though I am tempted. Obviously, the Mephisto thing is lingering, and I have to be honest with you. I'm very tempted by I'm tempted by that fucking Canal Batman. I'm tempted by that, the new Catwoman premium format where she's spread-legged on the. I mean, that's just a hot fucking statue. That's a sexy statue. That
isn't this quarantine sucks? We're quarantined, so it makes you want to even buy more statues when we're not even fucking working.
It's just, for me, I think just composition-wise, because I have Poison Ivy with Bane. And I've got a little space next to Bane, and I'm like, yeah, man, another female DC statue over there would look quite hot. But then it fucks with my balance because on the other side, I've got the two Sabretooths I own together, and I'm thinking, ooh, Domino, maybe Domino between the two.
I'm just looking
a sex sandwich. Why not? She can be the meat in the middle. Why not?
I'm just looking up. I'm looking up the Catwoman now, and I don't like the head on it, but the body's great. But the
both heads look nice.
No, I don't like them. The Domino, I think the Domino is much better piece than
but it doesn't go. See, it's either going to be that Canal Batman or that Catwoman. I like both of them, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't have anything coming in soon. I actually just got the so we got the Sabretooth, the Sideshow one. And previous
what do you think? Tell me, I don't mind. It's fine.
I don't like the pose. I didn't like it initially in the pictures, and even seeing it in person, I still don't like the pose. But it's got a lot of good qualities. The paint is amazing. The paint application, the texture on it. Are
you displaying it low or high?
So he's right there, actually, in that Besta right there with low.
Is he low? Is he low?
Yeah, he's low.
Yeah, you fucked it up. You fucked it. You've made a mistake.
But because he's for now, because the thing is that we replaced all those statues that were up there. So we had in the center we had we had Electro, we had Daredevil, the XM Iron Fist, and the XM Punisher. We took all that out and we put the XM Wolverine, and I have a custom Sabretooth that I got. So
what custom last level?
No.
Who is it?
Mac.
Oh yeah, it's nice. That looks nice.
That's actually my favorite one. I actually like. I don't like the paint app on that one, but
paint doesn't look great on that though. The paint doesn't look as good.
It's too yellow. It's way too bright and too yellow, and I think it should be more yellow,
orange.
Brown. Yeah,
you're orange.
Yellow, orange, brownish tone.
See, it's funny.
What's your boy talking about? It is fucking Thursday.
It might not be where he is. What?
He should be. He's in Miami.
I think I've got to be honest with you, Barbs. I completely agree with you, man. For me, I don't like that Sabretooth pose in any position other than high. It has to be above eye. It has to be above eye level. If it's not above eye level, I don't like it.
Yeah,
there's something. I think it's because from up high, right?
You can see the details from the bottom.
From up high, from looking up at it, this right arm, the right arm. It's hidden. It's hidden. So you can just see the hand, and then you can see the big sort of like this open chest thing going on. But if you put it lower, that right arm's not hidden. For some reason, it's the elbow looks like it's sort of down and out in a funny position. So it's.
My husband's like, oh, but it's cool. I'm like, it's standing like all weird like this. Like, I don't know. It's like a weird pose.
Listen, I totally get what you're saying, but trust me when I tell you, right? Take it out of that stupid little box and put it up higher, and then the appreciation for it will completely change.
Yeah, no, we still have to move stuff around. So we moved all our Marvel Street level heroes. We took them out of there, so we put them all in the new display over there with Ghost Rider and Moon Knight that were in the packs. We put them all together. Then we put, because I had them on my dining room table, so we put those there. And we were gonna put them a little bit higher where that custom is and the XM Wolverine, but then it was too cluttered. So I didn't want the Bestas empty, and I just put them in there for now. I said,
can I ask you, because I trust your opinion? The Mac one was how was that scale pair up with with the XM Wolverine or the Sabretooth?
It pairs up beautifully with the XM Wolverine.
So that Sabretooth is bigger then? It's bigger than the Sabretooth, the Sideshow one.
Oh, wait a minute. Ugh, I unplugged my camera. Hold on. Let me see if I can show you real quick. Hold on.
Go closer, just a touch, just a little touch. There you go. Let's have a look. Still think that Wolverine's too big. It's too big.
Well, I think Wolverine's a little bit too big too, but I think they pair up nice. And I actually made a mistake. I think he was, so when I measured him to the toe instead of the heel. I kind of fucked up on that. But I think he's actually like, not 17 and a half, like 17, or I don't know. My husband was the one that measured it. I was a little bit off. because I didn't tell you the heel.
Yeah,
So
it's 17 makes him like around 17 makes him about 5'8", 5'9", which is about 3-4 inches like off the thingy. But it's just I mean, is that Mac compared to Sideshows? Is it bigger or is it similar in terms of saber tooths?
The Sideshow one?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Who's bigger?
Yeah, bigger. The Mac is bigger.
Bigger saber tooth, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bigger saber tooth, yeah.
See, I like that Mac one. I do like that one.
You know, when it comes to scales, it's kind of hard, you know. And I have, I don't know if you noticed, I have that little dial, which is, I think it's like a 1/5. And, you know, you look at I actually had them all there. You know, I think the Mac and the XM Wolverine scale perfect, you know, for Wolverine being a little bit on the larger side. And
your husband said the Wolverine 16.5.
16 and a half, but it still makes him bigger. Yeah, he measured it again, and I measured it wrong. Oops, my bad.
But do you know what, Bobs, babe? Listen, measure when you oversize things. There's nothing wrong with that, darling.
No.
You keep measuring it bigger than it should be.
But at 16 and a half, he's still bigger than what he should be. But, you know, regardless, 16 and a half, 17 and a half, whatever the fuck, it doesn't make a difference. It's still a little bit bigger, slightly bigger. I don't get mad. I don't get mad at all. To be honest, I'm not mad at all. Like, I like it, you know, the way it is. And I like the Logan the way it is. I like the saber tooths, both of them the way they are. And, you know, you could pair them up. You could pair the XM, like with the Mac, and we have the Logan with the saber tooth from Sideshow. And they pair up beautifully, you know. Right now, we have them separate there in the Bestas, but eventually we're gonna put them somewhere else where they're facing each other. Because if you put them facing each other, they look magnificent. But you know,
what two is that? The Logan and the Sideshow Sabertooth.
Yeah, the Logan and the Sideshow Sabertooth.
Is it that I'm a big believer in that, and I've said it for a long time, that a companion piece, you can buy a statue that's not a great statue, and you can put it with a great statue, and you can really lift both of them. I don't personally think that Prime 1 Anti-Venom is a good statue. I don't think it's a good statue at all. In fact, I think it's quite a poor statue.
But if you put it with the Venom, then yeah.
I think if you put it with XM Venom, like I had it elevated both of them. And I kind of like that about it. You know, there are pieces that really do that. You know, there are pieces that you can sort of get in, and you're just like, wow. You know, it really does something. You know, which is interesting, because there was other times where you have two great statues, you put them together, and you're like, this don't work. Both of them actually come down now because it just doesn't work.
There's a quote from you there.
But man, that is not mine. That is Mike's wife.
Yeah.
Mike's wife. He got that out of the box. He got Prime 1 Anti-Venom out of the box, and then his wife looked at him and went, bird shit, man.
I think if you went with the whole statue thing, so people like both XM, Sideshow, Customs, you know, here and there. And I think, like, for us, as an example, we have Spider-Man, we have X-Men, a lot of X-Men. Most of our stuff is X-Men. We have a few Avengers stuff, but even though everything is together, like together in the same room, it's all grouped separately. You know, like we have all the X-Men. Like in the packs, we have one square with, you know, we have all the X-Force stuff. Then we have a couple of squares that are mostly like X-Men stuff. And then we have like Anti-Venom with the Prime 1 Venom in one box. And, you know, and so on. Like I have my Spider-Man stuff on the top. I have a few X-Men in the middle. And then the new one that we just built, we have like all the Avengers. We have some of the Galaxy-related characters, even though they're not, you know, in the same comic, but we have them together because they're Galaxy related. And then the bottom, we have the Marvel Street level. So it's like you pair them up and play around with them, and it's the beauty of collecting.
You've been collecting a long time now, Bob. So you've been collecting for a while.
It's 2004.
Wow.
Okay, so what's the worst piece you've ever got in?
Honestly, I've never. Well, yeah, actually, I've got.
I'm sure there was something.
One piece that I was not happy with, and I returned with, and that was the Mystique by Sideshow.
The latest one.
The recent one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
The thing is everyone's after that at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah.
in posts about people wanting the exclusive of that. So people are wanting it now. But
it's interesting.
What's your worst piece, in George? One of the worst pieces I got in, but it was mainly because the heads didn't fit at all properly. Was the Hulk PF, the new one where they did the grey one with the fucking vest on. But my one, the green one, the head was so bad. It was like a totally different head.
Do you know what? When I came around your house,
and a Christopher Reeve Superman.
Yeah, that was a bad one. But I remember when I came around your house and you just got that in, and I was excited to see it. And when I got into Alex's house, right, this is what I saw. I walked into his display room, and his Hulk was this way, right, and it was up against it was up against the wall.
I turned it around.
He had it aside.
I didn't want to look at it. I turned it around and I was like, yeah, fuck you.
He had it. The only way it could fit in his like vest or whatever it is he tried to put it in was facing sideways, and it was up against the fucking wall.
Shit.
And I was like,
sorry. Well reminded, Mark. Fucking Liu Kang. Fucking I fucking well blocked that out, didn't I?
Yeah, Liu Kang is definitely. Liu Kang is much. I mean, Reeves was bad. Reeves is second, easy.
No, that Liu Kang, right? Some guy bought it off me on Facebook. He contacted me, and after seeing actually, I think we delayed the video. We delayed the review. And,
yeah, we did.
He contacted me on Facebook, and I used to talk to him quite a bit on Facebook. He used to message me every now and again.
Don't talk to him no more.
Hey bro, how's it going? Everything good? How's collecting? Blah blah blah. He then inquired. He goes, "Oh, you selling that Liu Kang you got?" I go, "Yeah, I'm not too happy with it." He goes, "Oh, I'll buy it off you. How much?" And I sold it to him, and I think I sold it for more than I bought it for. We got it in. He never spoke to me ever again.
What is my worst one? Oh, I need your help, man. What is my worst one?
Akuma?
No, it's not. Like Liu Kang's much worse.
PCS
Akuma had the worst piece I ever had. The worst piece I ever had.
Oh fucking!
I ever had.
Trying to think in the beginning, maybe they weren't that bad, but like the old Wolf Predator you had. The one.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. Sideshow's one. Nah, that's nice. Nice statue.
I was just thinking about from maybe one of the Bowens you had.
No, a Mega Red Bowen I had probably. No,
a Mega Red was a bit like, he was a bit questionable.
Camp as fuck, wasn't it? That he was
some bad 80s.
He looked like he was in heels. He was a bit like on Saturday night. He was like Wolverine was giving him some. There's definitely something was going a bit wrong.
Like one that maybe the portraits were like completely off or ugly as shit.
I think the worst piece. I would, that it's hard because it's like when someone asks you your favorite film. The way I would judge it is something that I've probably seen more than any other film, like something I've watched more. So although someone would say, my favorite film is X because I love the film, I love the story, cinematography, soundtrack, blah 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 blah, yada yada, all that. I'm more of a guy who's like, right, what have I seen like loads of times, and I would still just, if I saw it, I'd just watch it. I have no problem watching it. So I always pick Rocky IV. Rocky IV is my favorite film. If anybody, I've seen it. I've probably seen it 10,000 times. I've seen it so many times. Yeah, but it's just funny. I mean, there's other films I like more, of course, that are better films. But someone asked me that, that's my answer because of that reason. So with a statue, I'm going to have to judge it on how short I had it, and I think that it would probably either be the custom Drax because I had that very, very short time. It would probably be the custom Drax or the original Sideshow brown suit Wolverine. They were both very short stays in my collection. Drax I didn't even review.
I got my brown suit Wolverine came in. The problem was it came in. I got 4 or 5 statues the same day, and it was Liu Kang, it was brown suit Wolverine, and then it was the Sideshow original Batman, and it was the Iron Spider. And I opened it like basically from. I opened it like in order, so I opened it like Liu Kang first, and I was like, "Yeah," and then I opened the Wolverine, and obviously I think because I opened it after the fucking Liu Kang,
I'd probably say them too. I had like a face hugger thing. You know, I can't remember who it was from. Like, you remember that company, Palisades? Is it Palisades? Do you remember Palisades?
Yeah, Palisades, yeah.
Yeah, Palisades. It was they were like obviously from Florida. I think it's Florida, isn't it? Palisades are from there. So
no,
it was like
they went out of business at one point.
yeah. So it was like a queen face hugger and with that's looping tail around it on like a base, like a hive base. And obviously that was probably one of the more simple pieces I had. But I would probably I had that longer than I had those two pieces, and I'd probably say that face hugger was worse. But yeah, probably I'd have to give it to probably the Drax piece. Or the Wolverine, or the brown Wolverine. It would be one of those two.
I had the Palisades too. So I had the Big Chap and the Warrior, and I actually really liked them. But the problem was the bases were obscenely big for the size of them. And, wait, in all honesty, movie statue. What's this? In all honesty, movie statue or gaming statue. If there was no opportunity for comic statues, for me it would be movie. Yeah, movie. Definitely.
I wouldn't even consider. Yeah. I already know. Like if I get the chance, if I move, you know, I want to move. So if I move, I want to have like a, you know, I will probably have a bit of a bigger room, and I would like to have yo Gucci boy. I would definitely I would get some movie pieces. So the original Terminator 1, I would definitely go after.
Favorite movie, Rocky 4.
This is the problem. See, this is what I'm saying. You know, like this is what I mean. Rocky is a masterpiece, original. But when I was a kid, I came home from school every day, and I just used to watch Rocky 4.
Yeah. You know what film I probably watched the most out of any film ever is when I was younger. I watched Weird Science. Weird Science with me and my sister used to watch it like fucking non-stop.
Yeah, that was a good film.
Omar said he felt very disappointed when he got the SS Galactus, that it felt cheap. See, that's how I felt with like the Mystique. Yeah, I think it's the maquette, because that's how I felt.
Yeah, I mean, it's that's that in hand. That's one of those pieces, the Galactus maquette, that someone could take a photo of and make out that it's an amazing piece, but in person, the paint's shit. The paint is fucking awful on that whole stuff.
I had the Galactus. It wasn't that bad, but the
paint is awful.
The worst one for image to in hand has got to be like Apocalypse or fucking what's the other one? Darkseid or Apocalypse. Is it Darkseid?
Yeah, Darkseid didn't look terrible on film. Apocalypse didn't look terrible. Galactus is always. I've seen probably about 25 of them in all around the world, and every time I go up close from afar, you're just like wow, and then you walk over to it and you start looking at it closer, and I'm just like no. For me, the sculpt is there. I would just love to have it. I would have it repainted.
That's how I felt with the Mystique from Sideshow. It wasn't a terrible sculpt. But the paint looked like a 5-year-old painted it. It was just the lines were all over the place, and
exactly.
The paint had dirt in it. You could see the little pebbles inside the paint, and I'm like, no, fuck this. I sent it back, and people were like, oh, you can repaint it. I said, most painters charge a minimum of $500.
Yeah,
you know.
But the other side of it is when you buy a statue, why the fuck should you have it repainted?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. So that should never be a response for anybody. Is you can have this repaint. That should never be a response.
I've actually I had gotten a custom, which I got repainted to my liking, but we're talking about this huge base, this huge piece, but this little tiny thing that's gonna cost me $500 extra to repaint. And I was like, no, fuck it, that's way too expensive. And then you have to ship it and ship it back, and you know, I was like, forget it.
What did you got repainted Beast, was it, or no?
Yeah, I did. I got a repainted piece. The Raven Labs Cyclops. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Did you get? Was that Lewis?
No,
No,
it was a local guy. It's a local guy here in my house.
What did you? I was quite impressed. I was quite impressed with Governor Labs Beast. But what did you do with What did you do with it? Did you change the color scheme?
We kept it. My husband loves it. It's one of his favorite pieces.
No, I mean the paint. Did you? Was it? You wanted it to be more sort of like? Was it a different color scheme?
So what we did was we repainted the base. A lot of the color schemes on the base we didn't like. So there was like the part where you have all these little cables and trinkets and stuff. We made that look more realistic because, you know, it had this paint job where it was just getting
not good.
Yeah, it was crap.
Yeah.
So we got that repainted. We got the purple repainted. The details like the battle damage, we got that to look a lot better. And the cables and the pipes, they gave it like a wash, so it looks like rusted. And with the Cyclops himself, we got the yellow, the stitching on the yellow. We got that detailed out. We got the some of the blue areas. I think they did a little bit of shading, and then we repainted the visor. Instead of yellow, we did them gold, both visors. And so we did the boots. We also did the yellow because the yellow was like a greenish, weird tone. It was weird. So we repainted the boots. All the yellow was repainted. The visor was gold, and then that little line that it had that belonged to the visor, and they painted that the skin color. We got that to the color of the visor, and it looks perfect. It doesn't look bad at all.
Yeah, it's amazing what a pro paint job can do. It really is. But people just will not understand unless to do it. I mean, I honestly, I don't know how many statues I've seen. Of all the pieces I've got in, probably the stuff I've had professionally painted is definitely the 5 best painted pieces in my collection.
Oh,
and that's that. And I'm not talking about creme de la creme either. I'm not talking about Soul, or I'm not talking about TCE. I'm not talking about the fucking Duke. I'm not talking about any of them fucking elite level guys. I'm talking about just a professional painter. A guy that lives near you or close to you, that they can beat a factory job any day of the week, every day of the week.
Well, this guy did a repaint of the Red Sonja from Sideshow, and he actually, his thing is actually fine art paintings. So he does realistic skin tones and faces and stuff like that. So he repainted the Red Sonja from Sideshow, and that thing did a 360. The face, we're talking about a paint job that looks kind of like maybe the Jean Grey, the new Jean from Sideshow. That type of face paint job. Beautiful job he did. And he's the one that repainted our Cyclops. We actually got a kit, a note kit, and he's painting that one.
That's not Vince Fowl, is it? No?
Huh?
Was that Vince Fowl?
No. His name is Vicente, but no, not Vince Fowl.
Oh, okay, because I know he did quite a few of those Red Sonjas as well.
Well, it's Vicente, but not Vince Fowl.
Okay. So Jason Buckley in the house. F State saying that he just picked up the Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man. He's saying he's amazing, great paint job.
Not the new Spider-Man, dude. The premium format that
the one before. Sorry, there was another one just recently, but yeah, the one before.
Yeah, I'm looking into maybe getting Ian to maybe retro that for him. We'll see if it's possible, but I'll definitely ask. I will inquire for him, see if he'll do it. But yeah, I mean, it's a great Spider-Man. That I still love that Spider-Man.
I think it's quite underrated. I mean, I know you had that in and you sold that, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I didn't sell it though. What I actually did was I upgraded to the comic kit.
Okay.
I sold at a time where that Spider-Man was actually going for quite good money, and I basically put like £100, 150 quid towards that sale of that Spider-Man. I bought the comic kit exclusive. So that was my intention all along. It was like I wanted that, and I had agreed a price, and then I was like, right, okay. And once I'd got the price, it was like, I'll sell this for X, and then add this to this and grab that. So it was sort of like a trade-in, like like a car trade-in. Like, yeah, I want the newer, the better model. So that's what I did.
All right, should we go on to the images, or?
I'm ready, man. Whenever you're ready, I'm ready.
Trying to fucking talk about your dogs again, and
I'm sorry, sweetheart. Are you feeling a bit left out? 'Cause me and Barb's, we're connecting on a different level.
There you go. Rodney Jones is watching, and
yeah, your peeps are watching tonight, man. Paul Gunderson's never commented as much. He's up, boy. He's got your back on it just in case we turn on you.
I'm just looking. He's asking the question we just answered. Have you got any piece that you ever got? What was it? We just said that about 20 minutes. Did you black out for 20 minutes there, Barry? Kyle. a guy in the house.
Great.
All right, let's get the images up. So, right, that. So I'm just trying to talk to myself.
See, backlog, and he's got a picture of a fucking cat. So he needs to watch his collection if he's got one.
Yeah, definitely. Because cats don't give a fuck.
And you can't keep them out of anywhere. They're like fucking. They get into places and then you just can't get them out. That's the main reason why I'm quite lucky, because I'm slightly allergic.
Yeah, I'm as well. Mike S, yeah, send me a PM on Facebook. I'll send you the email you need to contact.
Your XM day job getting in the way at work.
Oh yeah. Can you see that? So this is basically where I decided I was going to try and be productive and sort out my CGTs. And
well, Jedi mind fucked you that day.
Yeah, you did. Basically, the day before, George was talking to me about. We were talking about the comics, and I can't remember how it got into it, but George fucking mind fucked me, and then I ended up having to sort them all out.
Those are all the PPCs.
Yeah.
It's about 260 or so.
What?
Yeah. So George was cool. Yeah. I can't. What did you say to me? That was it. You were asking me about the Carnage one, and you said, "Oh, what grade have you got for your Carnage?" I was like, "You know what? I don't know. I don't remember." And then he's like, "Oh, okay." And then you're like, "I've got a 9.6," and I'm like, "You know what? So I've either got an 8.5 or a 9.2 because I'm pretty sure I had both." And he goes, "Oh, all right." And then I had to fucking go for every box to look for it. I couldn't find it. And then I ended up fucking taking them all out, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna fucking sort them out. I don't have this problem anymore.
So, are you grading a lot of like modern comic books, like older comics?
Yeah,
he has a mix. Alex is pretty good.
Mix, yeah. I mean, but a lot of moderns, a lot of variants as well.
No, because a lot of people say, "Oh, but modern comics are not worth anything." I like to see. I love the artwork on a lot of the modern stuff.
A lot of the modern stuff I do for the cover. The cover art.
Yeah.
A lot of really nice cover art at the moment.
The problem is that the whole theory of it is completely different now. So the whole reason that fucking comics were worth anything, or they were back in the day, was because they were read and they were fucking thrown away. They were deemed to be like, cheap reading material that you could read and you threw it away. You got rid of it. So there's just not a lot of them in the old stuff. There's just not a lot of them in existence. So that's why they're CGC'd. So obviously, when you take out a modern variant, and you get it CGC'd immediately, because they're now considered collectibles because of the fact that the old ones that were rare have been collected and kept, and all of this. People now collect comics, and because they collect them now, they're not disposable. They're not thrown away anymore. Because they're not thrown away anymore, there's loads of them. So the whole thing is a little bit of a sort of mind fuck. But I've got to be honest with you, there's nothing like having a nice crisp fucking cover art next to a statue, man. When you that's some serious shit for me. That ticks all the boxes.
Yeah, well, we even going through these now. I mean, like when I went through these the other day, I mean, I had George and I had a phone call where we were trying to work out. Well, I was trying to work out how to fucking sort them, and that's not fun because people say sort them in alphabetical order, sort them by character, sort them by artist, whatever. But I ended up sorting them like I started doing them in alphabetical order, and then the problem is you have Amazing Spider-Man, and then you have Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man. So you have them the opposite sides. And I didn't really want that. So basically, the way I did it in the end was like that. So
all of these. To see that my OCD is rubbing off on you, son.
Yeah. So like all of these are Spider-Man. All of these are this corner here, and here are Carnage and Venom, and kind of like other singular characters, first appearances and stuff. These are all Fantastic Fours. So then, like first Silver Surfer, first Galactus, all them kind of ones, first Nova. Then these carry on to Silver Surfer, Thanos. They go into like Guardians around here. Avengers here, so that's like all Hulks and Iron Man or whatever. I don't have many of them.
DC collection is like this little.
Yeah, and then X-Men, and then I'll go about. I literally have like hardly any DC. I know. Funny enough, I actually have. I have a box and a half of DC ones in the other room, and I don't want them. I'm going to sell them all. I kind of got into a thing where I wanted to buy all this art germ covers, and I literally bought about 50 art germ covers, and I got more graded. And then
but I mean, a lot of art germ stuff is his stuff is DC, isn't it?
No, he does. He done all the Fantastic Four ones. He's done a lot of others.
But it's not just those as well. I mean, he's done a lot of DC female characters as well.
He does a lot of everything. But I then have like about 50 of those. I'm just like, fuck it, I'm just going to get rid of them. And at the end is Walking Dead, and then the last one is a copy of Heavy Metal. So yeah, that was my Monday. That was or Tuesday. You, George.
Oh, this is just to say that I got my my saber-tooth head. I don't know how yours was painted, Bob's, but my exclusive head around the right side of his mouth was just a little bit jumbled. I got onto Sideshow about it, and their customer service is just like second to none. Honestly, like within a day, I got an email back.
I didn't notice. I don't think mine came like that. So it came
from
the right side of the mouth.
His right. So this section in the corner, the teeth were a bit jumbled. So where like 5 teeth should be, 2 at the top and 3 at the bottom, I could probably see 3 teeth. 1 at the top and probably 2 at the bottom. It was a bit where overpainted, thick paint was put on it. And it's funny because I watched Jem Mint's video of his saber tooth, and the teeth on his were even worse than mine. So
I'm see my shit now. Hold on.
I just also want to add that Gio keeps stealing my fucking coasters. I literally one day I went.
He's got it. He's got the X head. Yeah, she's lit now. I want to see this bit live.
Maybe I don't know if you can see it. I think it's fine. I don't know.
Close up. Let's have a look. Get our camera up. How can you put it up, mate?
I'd have to close this one. So.
Okay, then let me look.
I don't know if you can see it.
Wait there a minute, Bob.
Hold up. I'm slow.
No, I'm trying. Don't worry about it because I'm trying to focus in.
How do I do it? That one? No, that's B. Fuck me.
Yeah, I don't want to see you, fuckhead.
I don't know if you can do it. Can you just select one person?
I just click. I can't do it.
Oh, here you go.
All right, so you are. Yeah, you are. Wait there. There you are.
Focus on this thing.
Right, there you go. Yeah, it's hard to do it from there, isn't it? It's quite difficult.
Yeah.
Once you get close, it gets very jumbled anyway.
Yeah.
front they don't look bad. I can sort of see on yours. I can sort of see 4 or 5 teeth there, so I think yours is okay.
Yeah, I think it's okay on this one.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, mine was a bit.
It's hard to tell.
Mine was a bit jumbled up, and I got onto them, and within a day, they sent me out like another one that arrived, and it was a bit better.
But like, so the bottom tooth, it looks like it overlaps. I don't know if that's like from the paint or something. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, but they sent it out straight away, and the one I got was slightly better, but it wasn't. I've got to be honest with you, it wasn't. It probably wasn't worth the aggro, to be honest, on their part. Like the thing they sent me was definitely slightly better, but nothing that I would consider to be like, if I wanted to, I would have got back onto them and go, look, this ain't much better. But it was just a bit like, look, I appreciate the fact that you've got onto this. You've sent me another one that you think is a bit better. I mean, I can appreciate it. You've made the effort. You've done everything on your part that you can. If this is how a lot of them are, then that's how they are. But
no, they're really good with that. I actually the silk that I bought, one of the little dragons that were on the pedestal fell off and broke, and because the magnet was really weak. So I messaged them, and I didn't even think I would get a replacement, and they actually did send me a replacement. They had one, and that was a while back. Yeah, that was a while back.
Yeah. It's decent. It's funny as well when you get 2 in your hand and you start looking over all the paint subtle differences. It's quite interesting. Right. Very slight differences in all of them. There he is. Hey, see, I told you, Bob, look, up high.
Yeah.
See? That's sexy, that. See, not as good. Not as good as that. See.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it needs to be displayed. I mean, he is on a rock, maybe a mountain or something. So that might be the effect that we're trying to give, like display.
I think that once you go, the lower it goes, the worse for me it looks.
Your husband said there's a custom Sideshow portrait.
For this one, I think he had told me something about that.
Yeah, he just says the custom Sideshow portraits are better in my opinion. I haven't seen them yet personally.
Neither have I. I've got to be honest, I'm well off the curve. Where the fuck are you? Why aren't you on this chat? Come on here and give us your source and send me some pictures.
He's in the room.
X Cross is saying look for an exclusive Sabretooth head on eBay soon.
Actually, my friend, you won't find one, I'm afraid.
It's not happening. Yeah.
They nailed it with the paint.
Shine on the teeth. Yeah, adding a gloss to the teeth would be quite good. That's what
maybe.
SS just gave me. Sideshow just gave F State a full refund on Ric Flair statue. Great statue of Ric Flair was black. 3 shades too dark. It would have been okay, but I wanted Flair.
Yeah. Well, Flair's the man.
So, this is your comic?
Oh, yeah, I just got this in, actually. I have to thank Stephen Small for giving me a hand with this, actually, because Alex was, again, indisposed, as he usually is, on holiday at 37th time this year, I think it was. He was away. So I needed some help finding out why this was so fucking expensive. And thankfully, Jem gave me a little bit of research into it, because obviously I couldn't access our CGC accounts to find out. But this is actually, I mean, I've had this on my watch list, this exact comic, for probably about 18 months. And the guy won't drop the fucking price. I keep waiting and waiting for him to drop the price, and he just wouldn't drop it. So bargaining, messaging like all the time, trying to offer. It was expensive, but I found out that there's only 42 of these graded in the world. So it's very low that these comics are graded.
Sorry, as John meant the Mac portrait's better in his opinion.
I don't think that. I think that's the. Nah, I don't think so. I bet it's hard because they've seen it in hand. They've got them both in hand, so I need to see it in hand. I just, with me, the Mac one looks really nice, but it's just a paint, and on the faces as well.
It looks nice in person. Yeah, when you see it in person, yeah, you have to see it in person. I mean, the pictures are shitty. The pictures I've seen are shitty. When you see it in hand, the portrait is wow.
Did you get another comic, George?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Fuck, it's going to be randomly in the middle of somewhere then.
Well, I got the first appearance of Apocalypse. I got a 9.6 of I think it's X Factor number 5, which is the first appearance of Apocalypse and Sabanu. So. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to pop up randomly throughout the pictures, so just add that in. Cool. This then is First for Figures are making a Skull Knight. So this is from the Berserk line. This is quarter scale, and these guys they give you quite a lot of choice because basically with this there's 8 variants. There's eight ways to order it. Wow. So like you have like different bases. You have silver look, you have like where these hands are, you have like bone colors, you have silver colors, you have way too many like different variants. Yes, like I think Josh was telling me there's 8 different SKUs for it. So, yeah. What
would be the reason for such a thing?
I guess it's one of those things if you want to try and please everyone.
Why don't you just do like 2 different types and have different mixes, or isn't that possible?
I don't know, because then you would end up having like too many pieces of one statue, and the price will go up. And yeah, if it's the same print, different paint, I don't know how that works in the factory.
If you're talking about 8 separate runs, man, that's bringing sound to the beach.
Yeah. But they did the same with the original Guts. I'm pretty sure there was like 4 or 6 of those.
How did that sell?
I don't know numbers, but I think it sold okay.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is. So that's the Skull Knight there. Looks good. Looks really good. Big statue. Quite misleading.
Well, is it?
That's a render. That's an actual picture.
That looks like a render, but then they
does look like a render.
They put the cans next to it for a size. Yeah. The problem is that nowadays photos are so fucked with that you never know what's a render and what's not.
What's an actual?
When you look up like the Prime 1 pictures, they had so much fucking lightning and fucking like shit going on. You don't know what's the statue, what's not. So
someone added that to Wicked. Their Prime, I think their Prime 1 Miller. I don't know where I saw it. Maybe on our RaddTitan group, but he basically had a big fucking lightning strike, fucking print or something behind the statue. It looked fucking amazing. It was wicked. Very nice.
So that's the piece next to Alex.
I'm glad I don't know much about this sort of shit. That's pure arts, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with this is I've just started reading the book and I've seen the anime. I haven't seen the 2016 one. I couldn't get into it, but I'm glad I looked at it quite late in life. Otherwise, it'd probably be something I'd start buying, to be honest. This then is the Pure Arts Devil Jin. So this actually looks quite impressive. Really
does look cool, yeah. Like the wings, like the colours in the wings.
Yeah, the wings are done really, really well.
Looks like it's got some sort of iridescent purple. Jesus Christ, talking about wings.
Yeah, talking about wings. And you got the Godzilla King of All Monsters. This is a King Ghidorah. This is by Spiral Studios. So this piece is obscene.
What a stunning piece. I love all this sort of. I love this stuff though. I'm a big Godzilla fan. This is a big, like, honestly, if like I said, if I was going to do like movies, this is sort of what I would be moving. I'd get like monsters. I'd get like Alien. I'd get Predator. I'd get like Godzilla. I'd get Kong. I'd probably end up with this because I mean that's fucking crazy.
I'd get a Prime 1 Pennywise.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen basically like you and your husband.
I fucking love that film.
I love arguing on posts about it because he doesn't want it and you want it.
Yeah, I've been begging my husband for it, and he's like, no.
Yeah, but why the no?
He's not into that kind of stuff. He's not into horror stuff, and I am. I've always been into horror movies, and Pennywise is my favorite movie. It really is. And when I saw that, I saw the Prime 1, I'm like, I want to have that. Like, I really want to have that.
It's I got to see that in Japan, and it is actually really, really nice. It's really nice. I think that Elite Creature Collectibles do fucking amazing pieces. They do. Their pieces are on next level, but
they fucked up the base.
I think the Prime 1 Pennywise is better than the ECC one.
But the whole concept, their concept, the ECC concept was flawed from the start. You can't. He's in two places at once, and it's very confusing. It just doesn't work.
The idea for that, I mean, I agree because I don't like it because of that as well. But the idea for that is you actually store one of the busts underneath the drain.
Underneath the thing, yeah.
I get what you're talking about, but I get the smartness and the cuteness that you're trying to provide. But what I think you've done as a result of trying to be too fucking clever is you've actually made the concept worse. I mean, what you should have done for me is you should have had it where you had the bust and you could store it there, and then you take it out, and then you maybe have Georgie under there.
Yeah.
Well, they actually did that with the bust has the little sewer pipe underneath the bottom of the bust that ECC did. If you look on the side, it's got like the sewer door, and you look into it, and it's got like it's got the kid all the way in the back. It's got Georgie all the way in the back inside that sewer pipe underneath the bust thing. But I don't like the statue itself, and it's actually $500 more than the Prime 1, and it's a quarter scale, not a half scale.
1/3, yeah. Is it half? It's 1/3, right?
No, it's a half
scale. Fuck.
Yeah, Prime 1's half scale, and Elite Creature Collectibles as well.
No wonder your husband doesn't want a fucking half scale fucking 7-foot clown in your house.
Yeah. So
her husband's here actually. He's commented. Where's he gone?
Yeah, it's a half scale. So if I get him, he's actually like 4 feet tall. It's a fucking clown. So it's
like, that's basically having a midget clown in the middle of your house.
Yeah.
So John started this thing, John from Extreme, that he did this poll and thing for people to get me the Pennywise, and I'm like, okay, if it does happen, he's gonna go like right there underneath the portrait. He's gonna build an indoor like thing, right there, and he's gonna put him in there.
Well, your husband's saying, I don't like the way this conversation's going.
No, it's going towards you fucking being out of pocket and having a midget clown in the corner of your statue room. That's how it's going.
I think, as I say, I think when it gets to a certain scale, for me, it's too much. I mean, I have a life-size bust. I have the Guyver life-size bust, and I also have 2 life-size busts on pre-order. But their
Busts are
characters,
different.
yeah, but they're characters where they're not really that realistic. No. But if you have like the Queen Studios ones where they're quite realistic, and you have like the Wonder Woman, Superman, or the Infinity Studios ones where they look realistic, I think that would bother me a bit.
Yeah, you can't masturbate with them in the house.
Yeah.
Well,
Superman
like
looking at you. Superman's looking at you with a stern, sort of serious face. You're gonna be like, yes, I am doing it again. Just shut up.
Don't judge me.
Give me a second. Hold on a second.
The thing is, the worst thing is fucking. The thing is with busts that you have to remember, right? With busts in general, is that busts have been like stored and collected in museums for fucking thousands of years. Since men sculpted, they have been kept. Busts of people have been made and kept. So busts is a bit different, but I always found with the Star Wars stuff that I saw that was half scale, like the Darth Maul, I just found them so close to being like an actual size person that it just looked a bit, it just looked a bit funny. I always thought that, like, I agree with you that once you start getting into that half scale sort of thing, they actually look like little people.
Yeah. No, it bothers me when it gets that kind of size. I mean, like
half scale is definitely like a bridge too far for me. 1/3's a bit.
Yeah, Barry Elms is saying basically that I wanted the Evil Dead. Basically, I saw the 1/3 scale Evil Dead, and he's just too big. He's just too big.
No, but a half scale Pennywise. Come on, it's a must.
I mean, do you want me to tell you what your husband's logic anyway is going to be a bit different, because he knows you, right? He knows you, and you're a collector, right? Yeah. So he knows that this is not the end. So once you get it, he knows that you'll be like, oh, come on, let's just get like Jason, or let's just just a companion, because he can't be on his own. Like, the poor clown can't be on his own. That's what happened.
Well, the thing is, I've always liked like the horror stuff, and even with comic books, like if it has like some kind of gore or horror to it, like. One of my favorite characters is Ghost Rider, and I think it's kind of like, the skull and the flames. So like one of my favorite pieces in my collection is the XM Ghost Rider, and I'm proud of having that piece because I actually bought it myself. Like I actually did this sale, and I'm like, I'm gonna get myself the XM Ghost Rider, and I went for the portrait, the one that lights up, that they did custom and everything. I have that one too because I'm like, okay, I have to have that, and. So that's like one of my proud pieces, the XM Ghost Rider. And then I actually begged him also for the DC, the Batman Who Laughs, because I fell in love with the piece. And that's like another horror type piece, and it's related to comics. So, he actually let me have that one. He actually got that one for me on PO, so I'm getting that one. But
that's a really amazing piece. It's really, really nice.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It looks impressive. It's very impressive.
Did you bother with the exclusive?
Yeah, and I got the exclusive. Yeah,
they don't need it. The exclusive one is the worst one.
I don't need it, but I'm like, the hell with it. I'll get the. I think the difference was only like $100. Most of the exclusives are either like $50, $100, $20 for Sideshow. So if you can have it, it's not gonna make it or break it. But yeah,
the exclusive like was like $150.
He got it for me, but I've been begging for Pennywise, and he won't budge.
Yeah. I think the exclusive for that was like 150 more or something. It was quite a lot more.
150 was it? Or I thought it was 100.
Okay.
You probably told him it was 100 or 50, not 150.
No, but he liked the Batman Who Laughs, so he actually liked it. But I did beg him for a little while because he's kind of like, oh, well, we don't collect DC. I'm like, I don't care. I'll put it in my room. I don't shit. I don't give a fuck. So that's where it's going. It's gonna go in our room.
All right. Next up, we have the. So this is the Infinity Studios Superman talking about him, and this is the life-size one. So this piece looks really nice. I've seen. There was, I think it was Rebecca actually. She was in China when they showed all of these in the Queen Studios ones, and they're comparable with quality. They're all kind of on the same kind of level. So
wow.
they're up for pre-order today. This actually, so I just saw the Superman on Sideshow. I don't know what it is in USD, but it's £2,600.
Shit.
Yeah.
So that's about $3,000, just under.
It depends what the
2.8.
Yeah.
2.8, 2.85. Yeah.
Nice. Atkins said, yeah, it's $3,000.
Yeah, I thought so.
And that's all fabric, the coat?
Yeah, this it's fabric on the coat, and the head silicone. The head and hands are silicone.
Wow.
So yeah.
Life-size bust. You're going to have to take that coat off him and wash it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it looks absolutely amazing, but for me, I saw how the Cinemaquette kind of silicone went, and they didn't age very well. The silicone there. This is meant to be a better silicone. This is meant to be platinum medical grade silicone. It's meant to age better, but I just think that in 10 years, 5 years time, you're going to have people who are in Asian countries where it's hot, humid, and they're going to have issues with it. For sure.
Yeah. What do you think of my glue man bust?
Well, the thing is like even on the video from the Queen Studios, Thanos, they say that over time it will kind of sweat, and you have to take a sponge and kind of dab it. So that's lost moisture, and over time, if it's sweating and the moisture's escaping, I don't know how well then it gets that moisture back into it, or if you're going to.
Well, it can't, can it? It can't because it's not created, is it? It's not created internally, so if it's losing moisture, you can't replenish unless you dip the fucker in water.
There is moisture in the air, there is a level of moisture. Yeah, I mean, it may even be
not enough. Not enough that you're going to be losing it and dabbing it with a sponge.
No, but again, I don't know that. I don't know that side of it.
I know it's not scientifically possible, so no, there's not enough moisture.
You need to get some kind of oil and dab the oil on over time. I don't know. I don't know enough about it. So
it's that in like for us, for instance, like it gets really hot and humid here to the point that so we run our AC at 65 every day, so it's 65 degrees inside the house, but there's days that it's raining and it's hot, and you can literally see the water on the glass windows. And if you open the door and have it open for 10 minutes, you start to get that moisture inside the house. So we're constantly, don't leave the doors open, because that moisture comes inside. And that's why we keep it at 65. But I can't imagine having this and in 10 years completely get disintegrated or break down.
We're gonna definitely see it. That's for sure.
Imagine if you like in some of those countries as well. Imagine you go on holiday for 2 weeks. They're just going to turn their fucking aircon off, and it's going to be functional. We don't have aircon over here much. I mean, literally, you'll have maybe 1 in 1,000 houses that will have aircon, maybe less. But the thing is I went to Thailand for 3 weeks, and I think it was in 2018. We had like a major heat wave for the 3 weeks. When I came back, my XM Wolverine, not Wolverine, sorry, Weapon
Logan.
X, Weapon X had actually warped a little bit because of just the heat, and that's in the UK, which we don't get that hot consistently. So it's going to happen.
Yes, that's concerning.
Yeah, definitely. But look at that detail; it's amazing.
Looks great.
It's amazing, phenomenal. All punched hair. Stubble, but again, I just don't know the lifetime of it.
Yeah.
Enough pictures of it.
Yeah, you did a lot of that, didn't you?
Then you got the Iron Studios. So these are the 1/10 pieces by Iron Studios. So you got the Iceberg.
Nice.
They look nice. I mean, the sculpts are great. When you buy these separately, obviously, when you buy them separately, they don't all go together like they do when you buy the set of the Sentinels.
Don't like the angle of that overly.
Yeah. But I guess with 1/10, you're going to get away with a lot of other stuff because you're not going to have leanage. You're not going to have any lean or anything like that with it being that scale.
Yeah.
And then, again, it's only 23 by 21 by 617.
It's cool though. It's very cool.
Then you've got the Storm.
Oh wow. Wow. There's been a little bit of relaxed sort of creative license with that. It looks very similar.
There's been a few comments about it looking like another company's Storm. Yes, there has been.
Very similar. And in fact, it's pretty much the same sort of complexion on her face as pretty much the first sort of Storm that we saw from them and all.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. And there's also been one of the guys got involved on a Facebook thing saying it looks like they've stolen it. But anyway, I'm not going to go into that. But yeah. So
do you not have a company standpoint or statement to make, Alex? No?
Do I not?
Nothing.
What was the kind of comment that was put out afterwards? It was, there's only a limited number of poses and iconic poses for each character. So the thing is, this could have been in production at the same time as another company's piece, and the two artists may not have seen the other piece, and it could be totally coincidental.
That's very PC, sir. Very PC.
Artists over at Iron Studios, and I very much doubt that it was a case of copying.
No, I totally agree, though. I mean, with the way statues
you see it with customs all the time as well. But anyway.
No, but even the way that statues are being made nowadays, it's like they're just popping up every other day. You got a new Storm or a new Wolverine. Well, not Storm, but Wolverine. You got them coming every single day, a different one. So, it gets to a point you're going to practically be doing the same thing, maybe with a few details here and there that are different, but...
Yeah, but then you could just...
Well, what's happening as well is, I mean, going back to the CGC stuff and the comics, there are a lot of the custom side, because obviously they don't have to wait for the licensing agreement of, yes, you can, no, you can't, and now you have to do this or that. We get a lot of... certain variant art covers being made, and there are some that are very similar of those being made by different custom companies. So yeah,
I think she looks great. I don't like her left arm. Her hand looks a little bit too.
Yeah, I don't like what's that one. So that's her left. Kind of, yeah. I agree.
What's this one? This one out.
It's not like this. Like, I don't know. It's
that's what's worse. He's left-handed.
Yeah.
It's his dominant hand. Oh my god.
All right. So that's that anyway. Then this is just to remind me that the Connecticut's they had some cancellations from distributors. This sold out quite quickly, and this has gone up for pre-order with a limited number because some distributor pulled out last minute. So that's available on the Connecticut's website. Then also that happened as well with the same distributor pulled out Terry. I also want to say that Geo's had his fucking shipping for that. So that's coming soon. We're going to review that once we're out of quarantine.
That Terry's the best work. I mean, Mai's really nice as well. I mean, it was quite a shock actually that the step up in quality from just it was quite a big jump. I
totally agree. I mean, from their pieces before, they were good, and then all of a sudden we saw the Terry, and it was just like, whoa, is this the same company? They really stepped up their game in that one. Really stepped up. And then also the pre-order for Geese is coming up. So Geese Howard, the Villainous CEO, is coming up soon. So that's the pair of Terry. What's also happening is Connecticut's are going to send across their prototype for us to break down and let them know it needs to be adjusted.
Cool. Can't wait to get my hands on it.
Pop Culture Shop. These are coming up on Sideshow soon. So Pop Culture Shop Collectibles do their season pass line, so the bikini line basically. So you've got the Player 1 Chung-Li, you've got the Player 2 Chung-Li, and then the variant as well, which is the Morrigan. So these are like that. So they're coming up very soon.
How is that? I don't get it. Why is the variant like that then?
I don't know.
Yeah, I was thinking it didn't make sense.
That's like, I don't know. Maybe on a game, it's like she's like a. Do you know when you press a different button and you get like that suit? Maybe you press another button, you get fucking Morrigan. I don't know.
Why is Morrigan not in a bikini?
Well, she's in it like a leotard, but she's got tights on. I don't know.
Wow, that is so like random, dude. That's got to be the. I mean, listen, they all look great. They look fantastic. I'm not gonna.
Well,
it's not a bad thing. I'm just trying to understand how we got from one to the other.
Just different in like slightly different in pose. Her hands are in different positions.
No, don't fall for the angle. The angle is the trick.
No. Look at her. What's that one? Her left hand.
Oh
so
my God.
In different positions.
Yeah, but that's why that's the problem. It's just really kind of not the same at all. I just don't get how that's about. It doesn't matter. They're all lovely.
Apparently, we're getting told here by Frislow. There's a costume of Morrigan and Lilith in the game for Chun-Li.
Like, but does that mean that you play as Chun-Li with Morrigan suit, so you can do all Chun-Li's move with Morrigan?
Well, that would be shit because Morrigan's obviously in a fighting game of her own. Because she's in Darkstalkers, so why would you give her Chun-Li's moves?
Just trying to understand. Finding it difficult. Might be because it's late.
And apparently Omar now is getting involved, obviously, when you mentioned PCS. And apparently they're made to face off.
Oh, cool.
Chun-Li needs to take a shower now and cool off. Been watching... what's that? The Street Fighter Manga, where she's in the shower. All right, then we got the so pre-order's gone live for the XM Studios Dark Side 1/6 scale.
Shameless plug, yeah, fuck.
And well, no, because if we're going to fucking say things, then we're going to say
shameless plug, yeah, fucker, yeah. Ouch. Company man, fucking fired.
This has been set at 399 edition size, and this personally. This and Lobo are my two favorite, the 1/6. They
definitely are. They're the best. It's not that about it.
I think they stand out a lot.
Yeah, I liked when I saw it at New York Comic Con. It's a great looking piece.
It's big.
It's quite big as well. Yeah, it's big.
I mean, you have to remember as well. I think there's a custom Dark Side, and he's like the size that he's meant to be, and he's like 33 inches or something.
It's funny though, because I would prefer that to be media, that cape.
Well, there was actually going to be an idea because obviously he has another pose. I don't know if I've got it here actually.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
No. There's another pose where that one. Yeah. So this one. So he's got the other pose, and basically they were going to do it so you could have the cape hanging on a rock. And I think that would have been awesome. But the problem is because you can see the outlines of his fingers in the cape, it couldn't really be done.
I think what I would do is I would get a custom fabric cape made of Superman, or buy one like from a used statue of some kind, and then put it through his hand.
That guy, what's his name? He did loads of them. It's not Spazzy Customs, it's the other guy, isn't it?
Fuck, I don't know what you're saying, but never mind, doesn't matter.
He was going to do all the wired capes for the Superman as well, the Prime One Superman.
Looks cracking, this though. Looks really nice.
That's what Seg looks like when he's about to have a go at me.
It's when I called him Odd Job, he looked like that.
Then this is a custom Spider-Man. This one is what's it?
Surprised you didn't pick that up, Alex.
Signature Collectibles. It comes with switch out eyes. I'm not 100% convinced about that webbing on the base that they've added. That would just complicate the kind of paint job, but from their previous pieces, you know, the kind of fat line, the chubby line. Sorry?
The eyes. I wasn't a fan of the eyes. They look kind of like bug out. Like
yeah. Well, these are like kind of McFarlane style, but then you do have the switch outs. I don't know whether they had a picture.
No, but when I'm saying they're like they bulge out like a eye instead of like not that they're big. It's that they like a bubble.
Deep. They're deep.
Yeah. So they don't go along with the kind of fabric like. They're not really, but it's not really. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I think they add a lot more contour to the face, so I kind of like it personally. But I mean, it definitely, you know, if you're going from a 2D comic sort of perspective, it definitely is not drawn very similar to that, is it? Where they come out. I mean, I think Clayton Crane's actually do. The way that he does them, he adds a bit more depth to them when he does his, you know, his Spider-Man work.
Just checking the side profile. Yeah, they've done the nose as well, so that's good.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it looks great. I think it looks fantastic.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
The webbing doesn't bother me at all either. And I think what's interesting is if you look at the webbing on the back, it doesn't bother you, and you look at the other picture where the webbing is on the white background, and it does, which tells me that it actually isn't the webbing that bothers you as much as you're thinking. It's probably just that whole background picture. That whole picture's horrible. That whole picture's horrible. Everything about it is horrible.
It was meant to be that these are production pictures, and then that's just like, oh, here it is in like a natural picture.
Yeah, it doesn't come across that way. It looks awful. It's an awful photo.
Then you got the Thanos with Bushy.
Fucking massive.
Thanos.
He's got that pose down though, isn't he? He's got that pose down. Look at him. Look. He's a sexy bitch, isn't he? Old Nissan sexy bitch. Yeah. Looks good there.
He's got all his pieces in the back, and there's Maestro at the bottom left.
Yeah, I hit him up about that. I asked him about that.
He was going to hold one for me, but then I remember I offered it. I asked you, and you didn't want it.
Yeah, it just it was just like no.
I'd like to see that Dr. Manhattan in person.
I think that looks nice, but you see, that's got an elegance to it, a simplicity that just works for me. I mean, that Thanos is crazy as well. What do you think of that?
I tagged Cody into a post about that because he's got that on order, and I said to him, "Cody, have you got room for that?" And he's just been like, you know.
Do you like it?
I don't like. Well, in this picture, the face don't look great, but I think it looks like it's gone with the kind of like the look of the Bowen, isn't it? There's a Bowen on the throne, and Bushy's done it before anyway because he commented about it today. Actually, he's kind of obviously inspired by some of the Bowen pieces, and he's done it with his gladiator is very similar to the Bowen gladiator, and I think that's quite similar to the. It's like a jazzed up version of the Bowen, like big jazzed up a lot. I do think that the under part looks awesome, but you could scrap it. You could scrap all that under bit.
What do you think, Bob?
I think it's really big. It looks good. I really like the base, and I like that little what is it, like a water effect in the bottom? But
I don't know.
No, it's like kind of like a cave, and then kind of like almost like I don't know. It looks like souls or something at the bottom.
Yeah, it looks like stones, and like I don't know. It looks like kind of like a water effect. I think it looks pretty cool. I just think it's really big. I mean, you have to have space to really display this. And it has to be like standalone. We actually appreciate the details on it.
I think as a concept, it's pretty cool. I think it's very cool. Yeah, sorry, someone's asking. That is Mr. Fix at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah. So
yeah, no, it's cool. And also, Bushy ain't a small guy as well. He ain't a little guy. So yeah.
And he's pretty handy at jiu-jitsu, so don't fuck with him.
Oh, he's and he's angry as well. He's messaged me some angry messages, and he's messaged me like voice messages before.
If you crack him, you better put him in some damage. Otherwise, if he gets older, you've got a tough day in the office.
He's a black belt Brazilian jiu-jitsu teacher. Yeah, I wouldn't fuck with him. Anyway.
Nah. You definitely don't want to misjudge his chin and catch his beard, because if he gets older, he's going to fucking have you looking like a pretzel before Sunday's finished.
That's the end of those. Nice. There weren't a lot because we kind of got picked up on these regular, and also because I've been removed from all the custom groups there. So, so someone's commenting here. Yeah, it's Dan Dynamic Menace is the guy who does all the capes and things. It looks like the underworld to me, with the middle of the water being the river Styx, ties him into Lady Death.
Only if you go through Greek mythology, though.
Yeah.
River Styx is Greek.
I like his pose, and I mean Bushy's.
I like Bushy's pose. I should make a statue of that.
What was the Venom? I didn't see. Sorry.
Yeah, it's got a Venom there as well. It's up there with I think it's the Thor on throne.
Is that I don't know. Is that Bushy's one?
I don't know whose it is. He did a review on it though, so check out Bushy Collector's channel and you can see it.
Yeah. How's
your channel doing, Bobs?
Oh, I mean, I don't really. I do it for fun, really. I don't really do it because.
What do you fucking think we do?
No, I mean, I just. Okay, so what I mean by that is like I do it when I get a chance. I do it for fun. When I'm bored and I don't have anything to do, you know, I never want like I think I have like maybe 6-something followers or something, but I don't try hard enough, I guess, to put more stuff.
How many you got? Six. You got 6.
Like 6-something. 6. I can't remember right now. 6
That's great.
Actually, you know, the funny thing is, the other day, right? You posted a video, and I watched the fucking whole video in Spanish. I didn't understand a fucking word you were saying.
So the reason is because I have a lot of people that that follow a lot of the channels, and they're Spanish speaking, and they do understand some English, but they have a hard time. So I've actually been asked several times, and like several times, can you please do one in Spanish? Because they didn't even know I spoke Spanish. So I started speaking to someone in Spanish, and they were like, "Oh shit, can you do one of your reviews in Spanish?" So I did it, and I have to do more, but I do it for fun, but when it gets to a point where I do it like every day or every week, and you have to put it out there, because you want a certain amount of subscribers or followers, it kind of gets to, okay, this is not fun. You're already doing it because you want to,
Listen, you're 100% right, and there's a lot of players that definitely will zap the fun out of it with the sort
RaddTitan. RaddTitan is in it for the big bucks apparently, and apparently the other one. RaddTitan, what are you saying? This isn't a big money making channel.
So sadly, you saw our reaction to how F State dropped us $100. Man, that's big deal for us. that's big deal. That's a big deal.
And I give mad props to the people who actually do all these other channels that put content out there every day, because it's very hard. I mean, that's why I say for you guys it's a lot easier, because your wives take care of the kids, your wives are the ones cooking, your wives are the ones cleaning, but then I'm the one cooking, I'm the one cleaning, I'm the one taking care of kids. So, it's kind of a lot to bundle up, into one day. And
I'm not going to get involved in that conversation and make any comments about your husband or not, because I'm bound to see it at a convention. So.
No, but what I'm saying is, I have a lot of other chores and stuff that I take care of during the day, my stuff, that I handle, things with the kids and stuff. And it's a lot harder for me to just break away and say, I'm going to do a review every day or do a video every day, because it's really hard, And by the time my day's through, I'm kind of like, fuck, I don't want to do shit. I'm tired.
Yeah. I mean, when we kind of started our channel, we did it as well. First of all, I've said this story 100 times, but we said it because basically I got a couple of pieces, and George asked me for some pictures of it, and some videos, and I did a video where I was doing a piss take, like of a review, and I did like a really bad American accent. I reviewed it, and I was like overly positive and like about it, and then I tried to send it to George, and I couldn't, because it was like you could only send 30-second clips on WhatsApp. He wasn't on Facebook, so I put it on YouTube and basically sent it to him. He watched it, like, oh yeah, that's funny. I sent him like 2 or 3 of them, and then I left him there. And then 6 months later, George had a piece. I asked him for a video, same thing. Looked on there, and I was like, dude, we have like 100 views on that video, and people are commenting and saying it was a good video. Should we try and actually review something? And then it kind of went from there,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of work, and I'm kind of like picky in a sense where like, so I do photography, and I love photography. It's one of my other hobbies. And I I have a professional expensive camera. So when it comes to, I just started recently doing videos and editing videos and stuff like that. So I'm kind of like green at it, like I'm very new at it. But I'm kind of like in a way like a perfectionist. Like the lighting has to be good, the quality has to be good, the sound has to be good. So it's like, and I'm still learning. Not that my shit's perfect, because I've seen shit out there that blows my mind. But it's a lot of hard work. So when I start getting into a video, it takes me all day just to do a video, and my whole day's gone, and I haven't done anything else except edit a video, or work on a video.
Well, that's
you should read that. You should read that, Barbs. That's for you. That is.
No.
That was Mac.
Oh, no, that one. Sorry, Mac. Yeah.
What do you say, Barbs is going to translate using Spanish, and I'll pay her.
You see, you can pimp out your Spanish. It's funny, we got that. We had a guy do like a room tour for the channel recently. No problem if they were money makers. I wouldn't give a fucking thing.
But yeah, man.
Like I was saying, we did a guy come and did a room tour for us for the channel. Like, doesn't do any videos or anything, and we were talking to him in like PM. And he said, what did he say? It was fucking priceless. He was like, I love your guys' videos because, like, you keep it. What did he say?
He said, he goes, I love your guys' videos because the way that you guys, you don't care and you don't bother to make it, you don't really put in the effort to make it all polished. And we're like, you motherfucker.
We were like, dude, that's as polished as we fucking get, motherfucker.
That's us fucking trying, man.
Really trying.
Yeah.
It was just fucking priceless. It's like, your relaxed attitude, how you just don't give a shit. We were like,
So Cody's asking about the original ones. I mean, they should still be there. So if you do like,
oh God.
Just type in like RaddTitan Carnage, RaddTitan Doctor Doom, and
I think they're Bowens, aren't they?
No, and RaddTitan Cable. So it's the Kotobukiya Fine Art Cable, but we did then re-review it afterwards. Then the Doctor Doom by Bowen and the Carnage by Carnage Select. They're the three, but yeah. They're bad. They're really bad.
Yeah, Cody? Watch some of the Lord of the Rings ones that we did, man, because we just didn't take that shit seriously at all.
That's actually one of my favorite videos. Is the Gremma Worm
Grey Tongue? Great, yeah. I think it's Worm Tongue. It is Worm Tongue. Grey something. Yeah.
That video is fucking wicked. The end of that video is really good, and then also my all-time favorite is the end of the Grey Deadpool, where Geo loses his fucking shit, and just like it's. I literally, what happened was we reviewed the piece, and George was like, "What the fuck is this shit?" Like the whole way through it, fucking crap. And I crashed at his place. Woke up in the morning, and George is like, "No, we can't put that video out. I've slept on it, and I don't feel the same way. I've looked it over. I was overly harsh. We'll do the video again." So we did it again. And then I had the original video, and I just cut all of George going, like, take it out of the box, going, "What the fuck is this? Why the fuck is that?" They're like, "What the fuck? What the fuck?" And just like, they just cut like all him like repeating the slang. And this is the end of the video. It's fucking not for George, but it is for me.
No, it's like my husband says. I mean, reviews are subjective. I have a hard time when I get a piece, trying to nitpick something bad, because when I get the piece, I get it because I'm in love with the piece, So it's kind of like I'll sit there and I'll be like, I love this piece. It's amazing. But I'm like, okay, I have to be a little bit subjective and say something's wrong with it.
Well, but you see, that's again why we started, because it was exactly that flawed system that was in existence with reviews. That's all it was people, they bought it, they're invested, they've paid the pre-order money, they've waited 6 months, they've got the piece in, they're excited about it, they're happy about it. All of these things are all very positive, and that's great.
But there's always something. Yeah, no, I totally get it. It's something.
Alex is great at that, though. Alex is very good at that. If I get something in, I've caught him before with like white lights and fucking all sorts of things, torches, looking over the whole fucking thing. There's got to be something wrong with this. Fucking, he's very good with that.
At first, you know, I've been collecting for many years, and when I see a piece, I get it because I admire the, you know, the character itself. But when you're actually getting the piece and you're like nitpicking it, then you could definitely catch those little flaws, you know, that otherwise you would have been like, oh, it's a perfect piece, you know. And throughout time, I've learned, you know, looking at it in more depth and looking at the piece in more depth. It kind of like backfires too, because you're like, otherwise you would have liked this piece, you know, you would have loved it, and then all of a sudden you have this little thing you don't like about it, and then it kind of goes to shit. So, but it's little things that I've learned, you know. I've learned to, you know, look at stuff more in depth when I'm looking at the piece itself. So, and I definitely don't want to do a review and be all, oh, it's perfect, it's beautiful, you know, because then
one of the problems you have is, and one of the problems we have had, is the fact that we've always been so honest and always been so like, oh my god, this is shit, and whatever, when it is shit. And the problem with that is it kind of stunts the growth of the channel quite a lot.
Oh, it definitely does.
If we would have said that everything is amazing, or
we'd have double, triple subs by now.
We would have done our reviews more as a showcase rather than actually a critique. If we would have just gone, here is a cable statue, it's made by Sideshow, it's quarter scale, it's this tall, it's that wide, it's that deep, it weighs this much, I bought it for this much money, end of video. We would get so much more views, like so many more views and so many more likes and subscribers. But because we say, oh my god, this new Punisher is a big letdown compared to the fucking prototype and blah blah blah, then what happens is you're against
you're
against the 5,000 people who spent the money on it. And they just
alienated it. Yeah. You've alienated 5,000 people that could be 5,000 subs that you have.
Well, I think in part also has to do with where you get the statue from, and if you speak a certain way in regards to the statue, flaws or things you didn't like or things that came out wrong, you know, then you completely get booted, and you're like even I think for Sideshow, like if you are an affiliate or something, if you start talking about, you know, whatever, you know, you lose your affiliate or whatever. And I think it happens with
even when we were in like a position with Sideshow, we were an affiliate. We got several pieces sent to us, and they were actually pretty good about it. When it was
negative,
we did a negative review on stuff. They still sent us something else afterwards. The only issue afterwards was they started to they sent us a contract at one point, and it was like, yeah, we're not signing that because we ain't going to do that. It was like about they kind of wanted to kind of stop us from talking about certain things on the channel, doing certain things. But
it just wasn't ours anymore. Once we signed that contract, me and Alex would have been in financially a better position.
We were offered to what was it? They said to us that everyone used to get 5% of
affiliate
percentage for affiliates. Then it dropped to 2.5%. And then it got to a point where they were like, we don't need all these affiliates. We're going to fuck them all off and we're going to get rid of them. And they said to us, we're going to give you 10% and we want you to be our exclusive statue affiliate. But if we do that, we'll send you this many statues a year. We'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do this. Sign this contract. They sent it. It was like, version like whatever, like section 2.73, which says this, and this. That ain't happening. Yeah, that ain't happening.
Yeah, and a lot of it, and a lot of the issues were with customs too, with Sideshow. So it's kind of like you own me, and I can't get anything I want.
It wasn't just customs. It was actually what happened was
competition.
Once that happened, it was like, okay, I understand blocking the custom side of it. We understand, you know, you're paying a lot of money for licensing, and we were on board with an element of that about, all right, if people still show their art, but it's more, you don't say this is how much PMB, but you just show it kind of thing. You're okay to show it, but just don't use it as an advertising platform for your product. And we agreed with that. That was totally fine. But what happened was there was a section about they didn't want us to show 2D and 3D art that people have made. And we were like, well, that's quite a big part of the community. There's a lot of artists out there who sculpt just for fun or draw just for fun, and they didn't want us to show drawings 2D and 3D. So it was a bit like, we can't agree with that, and that's where it kind of.
It just got more and more, and you know what it is. In the end, there's very little of yourself there, and at the end of the day, not talking about it is not. If RaddTitan are not talking about it, if you're not talking about it, it doesn't mean it's not happening. If we all of a sudden say, you know what, we're not going to talk about, we're not going to show any art of anybody, and we're not going to talk about any customs or fan arts, and we're not going to talk about your competition. Maybe if we do that, it doesn't mean they disappear. We don't have that kind of power. No one has that kind of power.
Yeah.
No channel out there, no channel has that kind of control. It's the niche, the market. It's not big enough for one person to just be like, you know what, we're not talking about it, so everybody's not going to talk about it. You know, it's just not possible. And what you end up creating then is you end up creating this bland, vanilla shit that nobody is interested in really. And all we end up becoming is a sales platform for you. That's all it ends up becoming. And that's selling out in every possible way. I mean, there is an element that you have to agree with, which is, you know, we're seeing lots of people scammed. We're seeing lots of people losing money. We're seeing lots of shady operators coming out of the woodwork in our community. And I completely understand wanting to shut them fuckers down and shut them off. And you know this because, you know, we've been very, very loud, and we've slammed other people who have been much more slack and lax about it and sharing other people's scammers shit, and all. We've always been kind of like that anyway.
Well,
we're just like, this is the line.
The one in question, he was like showing stuff. We brought up to him and said, you know, that guy is a scammer, blah, blah, blah. He said, I'm just showing it for the art. Then he put up a video saying, I got scammed, boo fucking who. And he was like, well, if you got scammed, does that mean now you're going to still show that person stuff for the art? And he was just like,
yeah, because it was about what about the sculptor? You know, you can't just blame what about the sculptor and the painters that worked it? That was his argument was the painter and the sculptor that worked on this piece, not the commissioner that scammed everyone of thousands of pounds.
But then once he then gets scammed, he goes out and makes a whole fucking video about, look at me,
fuck
I
the sculptor
scammed,
then, fuck the painter then.
Boo hoo, I'm scammed now. Like so that means now because it's you and you're not getting that free fucking statue that you just got to buy your fucking review, whatever. Now it's okay for you to out this other person.
It is much easier if you can stay positive. You can definitely get a lot further ahead, and you definitely will get more approach from people, and you will definitely get more out of it. I think so. I wouldn't advise. It's very hard, but you know, also at the same time, you know, you set your identity, our identity, Alex, and is just who we are. That's, I mean, I you know, anybody that's sat in a room with me for more than 2 minutes will tell you if you just say something stupid or do something stupid, if you're going to be called. I'm not going to sit there and give you a pass. It's not my nature. It's just not who I am. I will definitely be like, what the fuck was that?
No, you definitely have to stay neutral. You know, like I was telling you earlier, you know, I wasn't a huge fan of the Sideshow Sabretooth because of the pose. You know, it's a fantastic piece. I'm not saying it's like terrible. You know, I know a lot of people are in love with it. I'm just not in love with the pose. And honestly, I like the Mac better because to me it resembles more than that 90s look Sabretooth, you know. But it's still a fantastic piece, and I have it. It's not going to go anywhere, you know, but it's got its flaws, and I've learned to be a little bit more, you know, because the thing is that I'm looking at those things now, you know. Way back when I started collecting, I would just see the piece for what it was. It was the character, and that's it. Oh, it looks amazing, you know. But, you know, now we're spending a lot more money, and now it's kind of like, okay, you have to, like, especially when you buy from Sideshow, something's wrong with it, send it back.
And also as well, remember that when you started collecting in 2004 and you got in a piece, there's no competition for you.
There was no,
you didn't like it. You couldn't just be like, well, I'm sending that back and I'm buying the 6 others of this character that now exist. As the market has become incredibly saturated for all of us now, and to be honest with you, and I mean this, you know, I'm trying very hard, like outside of the group, to bring some horror stuff, some movie stuff, some anime stuff, some mangas. I want more of that in RaddTitan group, because it's incredibly saturated with comic book stuff. And listen, I've got comic book statues. You know, don't get me wrong. I love this shit. I love CGCs. I love comics. I all this, but I want more of other things because it's really saturated now. And you look at a character, and I'm not talking. I mean, let's. You can pull a character out of your ass. I mean, you can pull Sabretooth, for example. Sabretooth's a great example. That's not a big character. That doesn't have a massive following. And when Sideshow release an exclusive and it's 500 edition size, you know that's not a big following of a statue. Yeah. So when you're looking at it like that, you know how many Sabretooths are there now in existence? Sideshow have done, you know, in quarter scale alone, there's 3 that exist. There's a diorama that exists. Bowen have done 3 or 4 different types in 1/6 scale. I'm sure Korobakaya and other people may have done them as well. Then you go into customs, there's a few. You know, there must be 15, 20 maybe in existence. That's quite a lot to choose from. That's quite a lot of choice that you're presented with there. So when something comes in and it's not right, you have other options. You can take that money and you can either add to it, or you can, you know, buy a couple of Bowens, or you could, if you want a representation of your character these days in comic book form, there is a lot of options. A lot. You know, back then when you were doing it, in 2004 at the start when you got in things.
No, and back then, 2004, I don't even think Facebook existed. I don't even remember when Facebook started. We had MySpace. There was no Facebook, or there wasn't that whole pictures and posting online and this whole big thing that there exists now, you know? I mean, I think the first smartphone came out like around 2002 or something. I can't even remember. It was a long. But
I joined Facebook, I think, in 2008.
2008. There you go.
I was a little bit late to it, but yeah, 2008 was when I joined.
So
I think I joined in 2017.
Well, you did, because I tried to keep you off there as long as possible. I really did. I tried so hard, and then your fucking wife set up that fucking account. Yeah.
Yeah. When I collected, there was no Facebook. We had MySpace. The MySpace was a mission to upload it to another website, to upload a code. You know, it's not the same thing. There's not this massive information there is now. Especially now, you can speak to people across the world. You know, like we're doing right now. You know.
Yeah.
So, we didn't have that option back then. So back then it was very, very limited. It was either whatever we could find at the store, or at the time, you know, eBay. That's where we would get our statues too, on eBay. The eBay was very new. So either we would get them at the comic, at whatever store we found, or on eBay, we would find some of the stuff.
What's so quick one, just while I remember, because what's the most expensive statue you've ever bought, Bobs?
The most expensive statue, I think the Ghost Rider, but Doom on Throne was actually equally as expensive, but we actually did a trade with another statue, and I just had to put, you know, some cash over it. But I mean, for the value, it was more or less the same, around $2,000. But I think the Ghost Rider was a little bit more expensive. I think it was like $2,400, because I got the custom portrait for it too.
Yeah.
So it went a little bit more, $2,000.
So your Doom on Throne is the RCB one.
The RCB, yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, yeah, mine.
Yeah, before Facebook was the statue for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was on there for a little while, got banned. I got let back in, and I lasted 16 minutes. I got banned again.
I didn't even know there was a statue for him.
Oh, don't even go there. It's full of like fucking idiots. The guy who runs it is a fucking.
And I hate those statue forums. Like, I remember I belonged to a forum before, but it was we used to show and train and breed dogs, American Bulldogs, and we belonged to one of those forums. And it was a pain in the ass, because again, you would have to post your picture onto like Photo Bucket to post a link onto the forum so you could actually post a link. And I hated those things.
Yeah, what happened with that was basically like. Because they were sponsored by Pop Culture Shock, when Pop Culture Shock started going downhill, and we started to say, this is happening, people are not getting their money back, this and this and this, all the Statue Forum guys were up Jerry's ass. And it basically, when I then put a comment on Statue Forum about it, they all then went after me and started going this. So my last comment before, I went out with fire, and I just said something like, listen, I can't remember the guy's name, like, listen, Peter J179, get your dick out of Jerry Macaluso's fucking ass and go fucking away, or whatever. Yeah, but I don't got removed.
So, yeah.
Back on point, I think most expensive I've probably bought is the Doom on Throne as well, but I have the Sideshow one. I think that's the most I've ever paid. The exclusive I have.
Mine was Magneto on Throne, which and then I got some custom heads off Omar, so that was mine. Yeah. Then I sold it for twice as much.
I got him for cheaper. I got Magneto on Throne for cheaper. So
I got Magneto on
Throne.
No, but I got Magneto on Throne cheaper than you got it.
I know.
Yeah, but
yeah. There's a few statues that I think those are just the ones that I paid the most for. I don't think I would go more than $2,500 on any statue, and it has to be this epic thing that I want in my collection for me to go.
I think Ghost Rider is a real shout. I truly, when people talk about certain things, I think we should never forget. I don't think you should ever forget where you
statue for him.
I wouldn't. Yeah, but I think we should never forget the time. Sometimes that's what we are guilty of in this community. We forget like something groundbreaking, and we move on. We move on a little bit too. Do you understand? We move on a little bit too fast. We forget very fast about like what like really was, impressive. I mean, we went through an era. There was an era around Ghost Rider that you all know because you were in it, but it was Captain Morgan City. Everything was 1 foot up and a simple like head switch out, maybe an arm switch out. That's it. That's what you fucking got. Ghost Rider came out and Ghost Rider changed the rules of engineering, design, concept, every facet of statue collecting, every facet of art in 3D form. Ghost Rider changed because it was like, actually, you know what? We can do this. We can do 50 parts and we can make it like a puzzle. And when it's together, it's going to look like something that you've never seen in your life. And it's still to this day. And it's the one area that XM particularly excel to a whole different level. When you think about things like Hulk, the Hulkbuster, you think about things like that, or the dial that they're doing, or the Ghost Rider in particular. Those sort of things is innovative. That's the thinking, because you should never forget that. For me, Ghost Rider completely ripped up the rule book and said to everybody else, you better fucking come and try harder, because if you think you're going to do this one leg up shit with a change out gun and a switch out head, you're fucked. And it's not going to last, because we're going to give you this. And where's the switch outs? There's no switch outs for Ghost Rider.
No switch outs.
No
but how it's made, how it's designed, how it's built, it's a fucking masterpiece. It's a masterpiece statue. If I like Ghost Rider, if I like the character at all, which I don't, but if I like the character, that would be definitely the piece I would go after 100%, and I would never look back.
Yeah, the portrait comes off, but someone made a custom, and
the light up one.
Custom, the light up one, and I got it. And I actually put away the original portrait and never left it out. I kept it with the light up one, and it's not even because of the light up. It's because I think the head on the custom is a little bit bigger and suits the body better with the flames. It's got bigger flames, and the other one, the flames it looks a little bit more tinier on the body of the statue. But they're both fantastic, and that's one of my favorite statues. And I was proud to be able to get it. I'm like, oh shit! Like
never lose that.
No,
never lose that. No matter what comes out, no matter how long you're in the game. It's something you should never lose, because we forget where we were, and we just and then it's just like everything is today. What is the best today? And that's what all our collections should look like. It should all be the best shit for now. There is never forget. You should never forget. It's a good lesson for life in general. Don't forget where you fucking come from. Don't forget if you didn't have anything, stay hungry like that. It's a great motivator. And I think for me, Ghost Rider is one of them pieces that I would have and look at and be like, that's when it changed at that moment. That peak's right there. That's where it changed.
So 2 things quickly. So Joel's saying about the statue forums there, and basically it all went to shit when they customs blew up, and then they basically banned all the custom pics and talk. But I think also what they've done recently is they stopped people posting YouTube videos. So, for example, we had when we went to a convention, we were never a part of Statue Forum, but we would have people who would share our videos to say, "Oh, these people are here. Here's a video." And then the guy from Statue Forum said, "Oh, we don't want any videos or YouTube links posted here unless it is our own. And what we'll do is, if you want to post anything as a video for YouTube, send me the video and I'll post it on Facebook." And then basically he tried to do that, and then he went to shit more. Yeah, so that was Statue Forum. The next thing as well is, I totally agree with what Gio was saying about we live in the kind of moment of what's next, what's next, what's next, and I think that's a big thing as well. I mean, even when I was getting quite a lot of pieces in at one point, and basically I would get like a great piece in, and then all of a sudden I'd be like, okay, unbox, put on the shelf. Also, okay, I'm getting this one next week. Can't wait for that one. And I think that happens quite a lot as well. You kind of don't.
Yeah, and at one point, me and my husband, we were doing like live unboxings, and it got to a point where it wasn't fun anymore because you get it and it's like, oh, turn on the camera, do this, and then you don't appreciate it. So even when I do reviews, so the unboxings, we just don't do them live. We decided, maybe I might do one if I'm super overly excited and I really want to share it with everybody. But for the most part, like the unboxings, we just keep it to ourselves because we like to set it up together, quietly.
Take your time.
Our time and not.
It's broken that way as well.
Yeah, like I unboxed the white Magneto from XM, and it took a lot of time, and people were like, "Oh, Barb's taking like 30 minutes. She's taking forever." And it got to a point.
Just seen ours.
Like speed it up. I'm like, yo, you don't have this piece. Like if you had this and the amount of pieces it takes to put together, it's ridiculous.
The assembly part of that for us was 48 minutes, and I totally scrapped it. When I edited it, I made it into like a 40-second clip. I just played it fast.
Yeah, and
it was 47 minutes, and it was the thing about that as well was the instructions was shit. And it would be like, you put this piece on, put that piece on. What's next? Put that piece on, that piece on. Now you put this piece, you're like, I can't put that piece on.
Yeah,
I gotta take these pieces back off to get that piece back on.
To get that piece back on, that's what happened to me.
And then you look like a fucking idiot doing that.
And now I lost my memory, so now I pick it apart and put it back on like nothing,
But you're totally right about another factor is when you're unboxing something, that experience really is your own. And what you find that you do is you set up the camera in a certain way and you set up everything in a certain way, and it's for everyone else. And then when the video is done, you're the person that's cheated. Everybody else has won because they've seen something unboxed, but your experience is definitely cheated. It's tainted because you're not looking at it. You're making sure everyone else can see everything, and you're not sort of looking at it yourself. And I completely understand that. I mean, we've done a few unboxings, but I've got to be honest. I think me and Alex have started our unboxings are never live anymore.
We start putting them live because it's just the moment, and then we set it up on the dining room table, and sometimes they'll sit 3 days in our dining room table, and we're just completely like. He'll come home from work, he'll stare at it for a little while. I'll sit here and stare at it for a little while and spin it around on the turntable and look at it, and you get to enjoy it. But, I realized that, and even when at one point we had like 4 statues, getting the statues, unboxing, doing lives, and I'm like, okay, it was to a point where we weren't having fun anymore. So, I have no problems doing the reviews every now and then, but the statues definitely unboxing, I don't really, I don't really care to do the lives because you lose that whole magical thing, that whole enjoyment.
I mean, that's what keeps you in the game. If you taint too much of what you do, eventually there'll be no videos of any kind because you won't be in it anymore. You'll just be like, you know what, I'm either going to quit, which a lot of people do. I mean, and there are people out there who sadly have got into this game for that reason. And they've got loads of stuff, and they've done all these unboxings, and they've done all these videos, and they've made sure everybody else can see everything perfectly. And then within a year, they're gone. Yeah. They're gone. Everything's sold, and that tells you why. 2 things have happened in that occasion. 1, they've spent too much money. they've gone too deep, they've gone crazy, and 2, they've done it. They've not enjoyed it enough. It's been more about doing the videos and you seeing it and filming it and all of this other thing, and no enjoyment has really been enough for them. And in the end, there's no longevity.
That's my issue. Like, I've gotten several. I've had already for like a couple of weeks, and and I want to sit down and do a review on it. But when I want to sit down and do a review on it, I want to make sure that myself, my emotion is not like, I'm tired, I don't want to do this, I'm just putting it out there to put out content. No, I want to put it out because I'm happy to put it out. I'm really ecstatic to show you guys the piece and tell you what's up.
It'll mean your stuff is genuine, but it just means that you won't get crazy numbers. That's what it means.
That's what I don't care about.
Yeah, we've been the same. If you think for 1 second that we don't know that being truthful and being negative when we need to be and calling people out, if you think we don't know that affects us in a negative way, then you're crazy. Believe me, we have known for years that by doing X, by saying X, by bringing X up, that we are going to alienate following problems, people. We've known that from the beginning. Yeah. But we've like we said, that you have to have an identity that gives you longevity. And me and Alex we've been on here for a long time. We've been doing this for a long time.
You have to remember as well, if you bash a company or anything, if you say, for example, when PCS were having dramas, Imaginary Mart were having dramas, or whichever company it is or whichever company group it is, you always have to remember that if you badmouth that or say something that you don't agree with or whatever, you've got their following to deal with as well. We had an issue with a sculptor, and then he actually made an issue out of it, and then he kind of dragged all his fucking followers to try and like fucking get their fucking flaming torches and come after us. So, you're always going to have that kind of.
Is this us? Is this us? Is this you us?
So this was us this time.
Oh, okay, good. I'm just
checking. It wasn't me this time.
It's always nice getting followers. I get excited every time I get followers, and it's kind of like, oh, people are actually liking what I do. It's pretty cool. And I get sometimes an overwhelmingly amount of messages, like through Instagram or Facebook, people asking me, what do you think about this piece? What do you think about that piece? And I always give them the best that I could. I tell them, look, I personally like this, or I don't like this, but maybe you do. You have to see it in person. If it's in my collection, I love it, If it's in my collection, I love it. But I'll tell you what's wrong with it if there's anything wrong with it. And there are some pieces that are pretty much perfect. I got that custom name, or to me, honestly, that thing is just perfect. And it's hard to say those things when you're doing a review. But
what was it?
What piece? I didn't hear that.
The Phoenix 5, The Phoenix
Force.
The Phoenix Force.
The Cyclops or the.
Yeah, I have the Cyclops, the Magic, and the Namor, or the ones that have come out so far. Yeah,
I haven't seen the Namor one.
And to me, actually, those 3 pieces have been fantastic. I actually like them a lot. I haven't been able to find anything that I really dislike about them. And there are pieces out there like that, especially if you really like the piece. You probably won't find anything wrong with it. But I definitely have no problems telling somebody, hey, I don't like this about it, but hey, it's in my collection. I think it's great. It's got a lot of good things. So
yeah, I mean, it's a tough. But at least you're doing it for the right reasons and you're enjoying it still. That's the main thing.
Yeah, no, I have fun with it. I mean, this is our area. The kids come in here. We watch TV. My son and my husband, they're always, well, there's one of them that actually really do like this, and they'll talk about it for an hour, about statues. And my daughter likes it too. My oldest likes anime. He's into the anime stuff. And eventually he wants to get one statue, but he hasn't gotten into it yet. But they like it, they think it's cool and they enjoy it. They're into video games and shit like that. So this is their room.
Oh, you're reading that, sorry. Oh yeah, no, Mac has a very soothing voice there. Sorry, I was just reading that one. Vibe, just saying about Mr. X, Min, and Mac has a very soothing voice there.
Oh, he does actually. Yeah, Mac has a very relaxing tone, doesn't he?
He does. I've got like I haven't got a relaxing tone, but I've got a tone that puts people to sleep apparently.
Yeah.
No,
Monotone, motherfucker.
Well, he has a lot of cool music on his videos too.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some quite well. All right, so yeah, should we end up there?
Yeah, man, let's do it. This must be a nice lightweight one for Barbs. This is a long one for us, but Barbs,
This
you
is
you Darth Castle fuckers do like fucking 26-hour fucking shit.
It's quarter to 1 a.m. here. 12:45 here.
Yeah, you guys over there.
All right. Thanks for coming on, and I just
lovely to catch up with you, Bobs, man. I'm sorry I missed you in New York, but
oh no, don't worry. Next time we'll see each other next time on the next one.
I just put basically in the live chat comments. I just put Barb's link there for her YouTube, so make sure you hit subscribe on there, check her out. Also, she does some great pictures, great photographs. So is it just Statue Mania on Instagram as well, or
what was that?
What was your Instagram?
Oh, it's Statue Mania _collectibles.
Cool. Statue Mania _collectibles. Yeah, check that out as well. She does some really good pictures. I've seen them on Facebook. So yeah, really good. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Just stay safe out there. Wish you well. Wish your families well. You know, stay in the fucking house. Be safe.
Stop spreading those fucking germs.
I remember my son did a review on the Predator Cinema Care on my channel. We got a lot of hate comments, and it shattered him. Yeah, that's horrible. I mean, yeah, especially when he's a kid as well. I saw one as well with who's the painter guy? Rafael Rubio Jr. or something. I saw somewhere he did a few reviews and people were really bashing his grandson and being really horrible. Weren't nice at all.
The thing is though, it's a hard one because you know your audience is not going to appreciate that. They're never going to appreciate it because it's a fine art, expensive thing, and when kids are touching things or are present around their youngsters, it never. I don't think it ever goes down as well as it should. Mm. I think as a vast majority, it's like basically like there's this panic, there's this underlining anxiety of he's going to drop it, he's going to grab it, he's going to scratch it, he's going to spit on it. It's all that panic. And I think that's what it is. I think it's just that, and it's an uncomfortable watch for a lot of people. Yeah. And it's hard because you know I have a son, and I would love him to like I would love him to want to like be on a review of us or something like that. But again, at the same time,
kids learn things. And
thank you, Cody. Sorry,
my kids grew up on this when they were.
Love Cody.
Thank
you, brother.
No, just
no, Cody, give us $5.
My kids grew up in this, and I've had statues since they were very little, and they learned at a very young age to look and not touch, that they were not toys. Now, I'm not going to look. I have a Silver Surfer that was a Diamond Select Silver Surfer that I've had for over 10 years, maybe 14, 15 years, something like that. And my daughter broke the hands on it. And if I wanted to buy that statue right now, it is a very simple chrome Silver Surfer on a little wave. And I think it's a 1/5 scale. But it's a beautiful little Silver Surfer. If I wanted to buy it right now, it's $1,000. $1,000, yeah.
I would select one. Like,
yes,
it's like 1/7 or something.
Is it 1/7?
And it's got like
it's got a wave. Is it 1/7? I don't
know. I thought it was pretty small because I've looked at that one before. But
that was a 1/6.
$1,000.
So she broke the 4 fingers. It tipped. She must have tipped over whatever the case was, and it tipped over and broke the fingers. And it had to be her because she was the little one that was very rowdy at that time. And I still have it. I kept it there. You know, it's kind of hidden under the tape. But you know, you have to remember, like if you teach them not to touch, you know, and you bring them around the statues and they learn to appreciate it. It could happen that it breaks, but what are you going to do? You're going to yell at them. The one thing they're going to remember growing up is my dad or my mom yelled at me for breaking something. And instead of that moment, you know, it broke. Oh, you know, shit breaks.
We break
everything.
Should we say which story should we use? Should we use the time you broke my door, or the time you broke my greenhouse, or the time which time should we use here, George?
There's millions, dude. I break everything.
All right. Do you want to do? Should we do the greenhouse one? basically, George, we're in my garden, and it was quite a big garden actually. We're in the garden, and there's this like when you have like a post in the ground, like a lump of aluminium bar. When it's in the ground, it's obviously got like a lump of concrete to keep it in the ground. So I had that in my garden where we dug it up from a part of the garden, and it was in the corner. George takes this thing, puts it in the middle of the garden. So he puts this like lump of concrete with a bar sticking up, puts it in the middle of the garden. He then walks around, he's looking around, and I'm kind of like there, I'm wondering what he's doing. And he kind of walks over and he picks up a bit of hose, walks over, puts the hose around, ties it in a knot, puts it like that, looks at it, walks around, goes over, picks up a watering can, puts it on the top, so it looks like a scarecrow or like a man. And he stands there and he goes, hooks it, and the fucking watering can went straight through my greenhouse. And I'm just there like, what? And then I literally turn around and my mum is looking through the window. She's just like, George, home, home. And you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, that was really not good. There was loads of shit. We broke loads of stuff. The two of us. Alex is scarred from his neck because we shattered a fucking table, like a glass table, wrestling and messing about. A big fucking shard went into his neck.
Yeah, I got a big scar like here, and a bit of glass was sticking out my neck, and it was like, yeah, that ain't good. But then the funny thing about that is we were probably about 26.
But you know what I mean. It's you got to appreciate it for what it is. I think as an audience, it's difficult, isn't it?
All right, we leave it there.
Yeah. Mad love, peace.
Thanks everyone. Take care. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, and we'll try to see you again next Thursday. Thanks. Bye bye.
Peace.
Bye.
Peace out. Okay.